Larry Doby, Bobby Avila, Al Lopez, Early Wynn, and Bob Feller, who 41 years ago brought Cleveland fans to their feet. Tonight, Cleveland stands for a new set of names, such as Eddie Murray, Albert Bell, Manny Ramirez, who have the fans and the rest of the baseball world saying, wow. Welcome to Baseball Night in America. Tonight from downtown Cleveland at Jacobs Field, the Cleveland Indians go for the clincher against the Baltimore Orioles. Hi, everybody. Along with Rick Cerrone, I'm Tom Hamilton. What a terrific week this has been for baseball from a historical standpoint. And, of course, Rick, all eyes were on Cal Ripken and the city of Baltimore on Wednesday night.
Well, Tom, including myself, I sat there, I watched it. It was a great experience, something I'll never forget. When it really made you feel like you're part of baseball and what it's supposed to be like. Forget about the labor issues. It was baseball, pure and simple.
Well, and there should be a great deal of emotion in the stands here tonight in Cleveland. After all, it's been 41 years since these folks had anything like this to celebrate.
Well, Jacob Field will be rocking tonight in hopes of clinching the pennant. What I really like, they've been consistent all year. They've been dominating in hitting, in pitching, leading categories left and right, and especially they made it a 6-inning ball game. 62-4 with a lead after 6 innings. A lot of credit has to go to the bullpen to set up Jose Mesa.
Tonight, the pitching matchup, Orel Hershiser for the Indians, Kevin Brown for the Orioles. So get those VCRs rolling. This could be one for the archives. Welcome back to Jacobs Field, 40th consecutive sellout in this downtown facility, as tonight the Indians go for the clincher against the Baltimore Orioles. And just prior to the start of tonight's game, the lineup cards exchanged by two very good friends and two future Hall of Famers, Eddie Murray and Cal Ripken Jr. And of course, Cal Ripken thanking 4 people for being inspirational in his life: his mom, his dad, his wife, and that man right there, Eddie Murray, former teammates. Now let's check tonight's Budweiser Baltimore Orioles starting lineup. The Orioles leading off, Brady Anderson, Curtis Goodwin back off the DL, Rafael Palmeiro having another big year. The acquired Bobby Bonilla, then Cal Ripken's streak continues. Harold Baines, Chris Hoyles, Jeff Hewson, and Manny Alexander for Phil Regan's Baltimore Orioles. Orel Hershiser on the hill, the 36-year-old right-hander, 6'3", 195, having a very solid year. 12 wins, 6 losses, an ERA of 4.17. He'll feature the sinker, the cut fastball, the curve, the change, and the split finger. And tonight's ball game is underway. 63 degrees with a light breeze blowing in from right field here tonight. We had rain much of the day, but it looks like the rain has gone away for the rest of the evening. 0-2 the count on Brady Anderson.
And right away, Hershiser is going to show us what he's going to feature. Keep the ball out of the middle of the plate, whatever it takes. 63 degrees, a little cloudy, cold. Tom, I think it's a little cold up here.
As long as we're dry. Just missing, a ball and 2 strikes to Brady Anderson. Well, Cleveland, like so much of the country, one of the hottest summers in recent memory, but it really changed last night. Check swing. Did he go too far? Yes, and Brady Anderson strikes out to start tonight's ball game. Now let's check out that Cleveland Indians defense, ranked 7th in the American League. Rick?
In left field, Albert Bell. Kenny Lofton with 10 outfield assists this year, leading the team. Manny Ramirez in right. Jim Thome, Omar Vizquel, Carlos Baerga, and Paul Sorrento at first base, back after a little hamstring injury. Behind the plate, Sandy Alomar, who's also back after a little swollen knee.
Tonight's men in blue, Richie Garcia behind the plate with Dale Ford at first, Larry Young at second, and Mike Riley at third. Curtis Goodwin fouling off the first pitch, just off the DL. In the lineup for the first time since August 20th, he had a chip bone in the left index finger. Rookie center fielder with terrific speed, batting .285. He has 21 stolen bases. This kid can fly.
And he'll utilize the bunt. I mean, he takes advantage of what he has. Good speed, put the ball on the ground and run.
A ball and 2 strikes on Curtis Goodwin. Baltimore with a lineup tonight that will feature 6 left-handed hitters, as Goodwin having trouble in the second half of the season after that terrific start after he'd been called up from the minor leagues. Orioles have gone through a lot of players and a lot of changes here in this '95 season, and it's been a disappointing one for Baltimore. Still a ball and 2 strikes on Goodwin. The Orioles come in tonight 57 and 65. Phil Regan, in his first year as a major league manager, has had a lot of injuries, in particular to that rotation when you think of Ben McDonald and Arthur Rhodes.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was talking about prior to the game. He said, Rick, the 5 guys I wanted to come north with, the only one that's really helped me this year has been Mike Mussina. Sounds simple. They've had injuries. Sid Fernandez, for some reason, just did not pitch well in the American League. He goes over to the Phillies and he's dealing. So, Phil, it's been a tough year. The injuries with Hoyles behind the plate, McDonald. He said, if I could have just got 10 wins out of Ben McDonald, we would be right there.
And Jeffrey Hammonds has really given them nothing this year. 2-2 pitch. Again, the check swing, and again, they went too far. Curtis Goodwin strikes out, and Hershiser has struck out the first 2 in tonight's ballgame.
That's the second of his changeups. That's the split finger he'll use with 2 strikes. And you know, how does a major league hitter swing at a ball that far in front of the plate? Well, the split finger appears to be a fastball. It'll make hitters look foolish. It just drops out. It almost acts like a spitter. And I happen to catch a couple of pitchers in my career that threw spitters. You'd get a lot of guys swinging at bad pitches. It has the same effect as a spitter, the split finger.
You want to reveal the identity of those cheaters?
Never do that as a former catcher.
Rafael Palmeiro having just another typical terrific season. This guy is just one of the best hitters, period, in the American League. 2-0 the count on Palmeiro, who is second in the league in home runs and has been on a tear, as has Chris Hoyles along with Cal Ripken. Palmeiro second in the league in homers with 34, 9th in the league in RBIs with a 91.
You know, and the thing about Rafi, he doesn't really try to pull the ball and force home runs. He really talks about how it's an accident when he hits a home run. Well, he's had 34 accidents this year alone.
No score first inning. Baltimore batting 2 down. The base is empty. 3-0 the count on Palmeiro. Indians play him as a dead pull hitter to deep right. And missing on 4 straight was Hershiser. And that'll bring up Bobby Bonilla, who was acquired from the New York Mets on July 28th. Bonilla with the Orioles hitting .285 with 6 homers, 22 RBIs. If you combine his numbers with the New York Mets, he's had a year where he's belted 24 homers and knocked in 75.
Been very consistent over his career. He's also had some success prior against Hershiser, 4 home runs. That's the only thing against Hershiser this year. The league has hit 19 home runs against Orioles. Well, a little bit has to do with Jacob Field. It's a hitter's ballpark.
That could be trouble unless Lofton can race it down, and he reaches over the shoulder and pulls it down. So the Orioles do not get on the board in the first inning. Cleveland now coming to bat.
Wow, $10.
You better put that in a safe place.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Hey, put that in a safe place, okay?
With its 5-star front and side impact crash test ratings, the Dodge Grand Caravan is a great place for all your precious cargo.
About every 3 minutes, someone buys a new tire at Conrad's. And overall, 80% of our purchases come from repeat customers. They know that nobody beats Conrad's discount tire prices, or we double the difference back. And we guarantee 4 tires installed in 30 minutes. Right now, it's our employee pricing sale. Save 20% on select Goodyear, Kelly, Dunlop, and BF Goodrich tires. Discount tire prices, 30-minute installation, only at
Enter the cage and feel the raw power and non-stop fury of Ohio Fight Fest. Experience your hometown fighters as they battle in the ultimate test of will. Witness the devastating punishment of no-holds-barred combat. It's survival of the toughest. Saturday at midnight and Sunday at 9, only on Sports Time Ohio.
Hi, I'm David DeLucia of the Cleveland Indians. Pull together for a good cause and help strike out diabetes by participating in the Verizon Wireless Swim for Diabetes. Get your free ticket to the May 19th Indians game by raising pledges. All money raised from the event stays in this community to help the 1 in 14 people with diabetes. Call the Diabetes Association of Greater Cleveland at 216-591-0800. So dive right in and make a difference.
Sports Time Ohio recognizes boxing champ Johnny Kilbane. Cleveland's Kilbane won the World Featherweight Boxing Championship in 1912 and held that title for 11 years, the longest in that division's history, the second longest in all boxing history behind only Joe Louis. After retiring, Kilbane served in the Ohio State Legislature and the Cleveland Muni Court. Johnny Kilbane, the pride of Ohio.
And here at Jacobs Field, a standing ovation for Cal Ripken as Indians and their fans congratulating Cal on his remarkable achievement. And tonight for Cal Ripken Jr., 2,132 consecutive starts.
I mean, that's just amazing. You know, to play shortstop and do it day in and day out, like he talked about. Guys sliding after you, trying to take you out. I mean, little nicks and the bruises that you get playing every day. To do that's remarkable.
Well, baseball fans all across the country have fallen in love with Cal Ripken Jr. Boy, this week more people with Cal Ripken are on their feet than in their seats. How about that 22-minute ovation he received the other night in Baltimore? Kenny Lofton leads off, and Kevin Brown misses with his first offering. Lofton not having quite the year he had a year ago. He's had some injury problems, but still as good a leadoff hitter as the game has. Line to Ripken for out number 1. Let's check out the Baltimore defense. As always, the league leader in defense, the Baltimore Orioles.
Brady Anderson, Curtis Goodwin in center field, Bobby Bonilla playing right field, Jeff Houston, third baseman. Yeah, Cal Ripken, he's playing another ball game at shortstop. Manny Alexander at second base, and Rafael Palmeiro at first. Behind the plate, Chris Hoyles. Yeah, just another day at the office. I think that's why people are so excited, because he does. He shows up every day, puts out, just like what you expect from a guy that's making a good living.
Omar Vizquel, Gold Glove winner the last 2 years at shortstop. And Brown misses ball 2. Kevin Brown, one of those pitchers, Rick, where you look at his stuff, you talk to the Indians hitters, they say he has as good a stuff as anyone in the league, yet he's 7 and 8.
Yeah, I wanted Phil, the manager, Phil Reagan, to explain it to me. He says, well, sometimes he thinks too much out there. He might have a 3-1 lead going into the 6th inning and thinks he has to change something, but he's got a heavy sinker.
3-1 to count on Vizquel. Kevin Brown has always been his own worst enemy. He sometimes fights himself on the mound, sometimes thinks too much. In fact, One time he was seeing a hypnotist. Full count now on Vizquel. He'd actually gone not so much to a hypnotist but a sports psychologist to try to help him, and it did help because he had a big year in Texas when he won 21 games in '92. Chopped toward first. Palmeiro will fire to Brown for out number 2. No score, first inning, 2-0, and Carlos Baerga to the plate. Baerga hitting .317, 15 homers, 80 runs batted in, and still leading the American League in base hits. He looks at strike 1 from Kevin Brown.
He's just so consistent. Doesn't matter if it's left-handed pitching, right-handed pitching, hitting about the same from both sides of the plate. Good production out of your number 3 hitter. Seems like he always drives in big runs.
Yep.
The important 2-out hits.
Last night, a key 2-run home run in the 4-1 win over Seattle that clinched at least a tie for the Central Division title. Cleveland's magic number is 1. A ball and 2 strikes on Baerga. The Indians simply want to take care of business tonight. They want to win this ball game and wrap it up in front of the home folks and have a celebration the likes that this city has not seen in 41 years.
And they want to do it themselves.
Yep.
Kansas City's playing tonight in Seattle. So, I mean, they could back into it. I mean, it's tough to say back in when you're 85 and 37, but they want to do it themselves on the field. It's a great feeling.
In fact, the Indians now lead Kansas City by 22.5 games. That's the biggest lead ever in the history of the American League. And that man, Mike Hargrove, has skippered this club to this sensational season. Now, you think about it, the American League's been in business since 1901. And the 22.5 game lead, the largest ever in the history of the American League.
Yeah, I thought, you know, they might have a little problem because it's such a great start they had. But I was talking to Dave Winfield in the clubhouse. These guys don't want to let up. They just keep going after. Now they're individual guys, you know, going after individual stats. And they want to win as many as possible and carry it into the playoffs.
Mike Hargrove also saying, look, they've been on the other side. They didn't enjoy getting pounded, and now they're enjoying the feeling from a winner. 2-2 the count on Baerga.
Well, there's a great little game going on right now. Carlos Baerga, you know, he'll do anything to adjust in the plate at the batter's box. He's all the way in the front of the batter's box right now. He wants to take the sinker away from Kevin Brown. That's his pitch. See how far up in front he is? He wants him to force him to get the ball up in the air. And, you know, hitters will do that. From a bat to a bat, they'll play games like that, and the catcher notices it. Chris Hoyles ran out to the mound. He said, hey, he's moving up. Let's try to bust him in. Well, sometimes hitters play those little cat and mouse games with the catcher. Look at how far up in front of the plate he is. His front foot is almost out of the batter's box.
There's a good look at it. 2-2 the count on Baerga. No score, first inning. And now full count on Carlos Baerga. Kevin Brown facing the Indians for the 4th time this year. The Indians have beaten him all 3 previous times. His ERA this year against the Indians, 5.57. We'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kevin Brown, a record on the year of 7-8. Earned run average respectable at 3.92. Just seems like Ricky makes enough mistakes to lose a ball game.
If you actually look at his numbers across the board, they're better than Hershiser. The only problem is Orioles has 12 wins. Kevin Brown is only 6 and 7.
And part of that, the Indians average a run a game more than the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, that's nice to know. You go out there. The only thing with Orioles, he's given up 19 home runs I mentioned earlier. He knows that this team is going to keep coming after you, his team. They're going to score runs. 17 times he's gone past 6 innings, and that's a quality start.
Once again, the 3-2 pitch to Baerga. And Kevin Brown, with that sinker working in the first inning, retires the Indians 1-2-3. We are scoreless after 1.
Look, this is pretty simple. You run a small business, so you don't need a huge, complicated banking program. Ohio Savings Business Banking Services were created especially for small businesses. Enjoy a 5% money market account, all tailored to your situation. It's everything you need. Small business banking from Ohio Savings Bank. Perfectly simple.
Bye. Bye now. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
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 While other airlines are saying goodbye to pillows, blankets, and meals, Continental is still giving you everything you should expect from an airline.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Julie.
Hi, Danny.
Continental Airlines. Work hard, fly right.
See, I programmed the HomeLink system today.
Me too.
Really?
A HomeLink system that controls up to 3 remote devices.
Just what does your button do?
The Chrysler Town & Country.
Honey?
Full of so many available features, it may take you a while to discover them all.
Sports Time Ohio recognizes the Aquacade at Cleveland's Great Lakes Exposition of 1937. The Aquacade, brainchild of showman Billy Rose, was the expo's most popular attraction, an extravagant music, dance, and swim show that featured a huge floating stage and high dives that were 4 stories high. Local swimmers joined the cast of hundreds that entertained millions along the downtown shoreline where the Great Lakes Science Center now stands. Billy Rose's Aquacade, the pride of Ohio.
You guessed it, another standing ovation for Cal Ripken Jr. Ripken's ready to go to work. Hershiser backing off the mound. He wants Ripken to enjoy it a little bit longer. Cal says it's time to get back to business. No score, second inning. The Indians with a mini shift on as Carlos Baerga just to the right of second base. And the outfield pulls around to the left for Ripken. How about Cal Ripken Jr.? You talk about being able to rise to the occasion. Hits home runs the night he ties Gehrig, and then the next night when he breaks Gehrig's record.
Oh, really feeling the pressure, didn't he? In his last 10 ball games, hitting .390. Yeah, he's feeling the pressure, folks.
1-1 the count. Well, he admits, though, that this entire week has left him exhausted. They, of course, had the parade in downtown Baltimore yesterday in the Inner Harbor area. Sky to shallow right. Long run for Ramirez, but he should get there. 1 down.
I think it was great the way he talked about Eddie Murray and what he meant to him coming up as a younger player. I mean, because how many times does you know, Eddie get a bad rap? You know what I mean?
And it's not deserved.
Unruly, this and that. Boy, I tell you what, you talk to the guys that are down in the clubhouse, they love him, the way he goes about his business.
And that's what counts.
Yeah.
Harold Baines fouls it off to the left for strike 1. I think Eddie Murray is probably as well respected as any player in the game by his peers.
By his peers, exactly. Maybe not by the media, but by his peers. And for Cal to single him out like that made people notice.
0-2 the count on Baines. Thing I take exception, though, with some of the media. I think it's been very easy for some of the media to have a problem with Murray, and then the other media just assumes, well, he must be a bad guy. I have not had any trouble all season long, nor did I have any trouble last year. Eddie Murray has done every interview we've ever asked.
Came out on our, hit the home run in the bottom of the 9th. Came out, talked to us. That was great.
A ball and 2 strikes on Harold Baines.
There's another guy that's been very consistent. He stands so far away from the plate, dives into the ball, but he can handle the outside part of the plate.
2-2 the count on Baines, who's batting .293, 20 homers, 50 runs batted in. And Harold Baines in his 16th major league season. That's the one thing that the designated hitter rule has done. It's kept some of these great stars in the game, like Murray, like Baines.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit tougher for the pitchers because they don't have that pitcher hitting. But
look at all of those people. Edgar Martinez has had nothing but leg problems, but since they made him a DH, he's stayed healthy, and you keep one of the best bats in the game.
The traditionalists will say we like the strategies that are done in the National League more. We like to see the pitcher come up and take a swing.
Third strikeout for Hershiser. That's a lot of fun to watch a pitcher hitting a .122 come to the plate 4 times.
Remember I said he wants to make it simple. Keep the ball out of the middle of the plate. This time he goes up the ladder on Harold. Used a 4-seam fastball. Orel said he'll do that occasionally. If he's not getting his sinker in on a left-hand hitter, he'll use the 4-seam fastball. Acts more straight rather than sink.
A little more velocity?
A little more velocity. They go a lot longer, though, because they tend to straighten out and carry a long way.
2 down, no score. This is Chris Hoyles, the Ohio native, who in fact still lives in Wayne, Ohio. Helps his parents farm in the offseason. Chris Hoyles has really come on after a disappointing start. And he drives one to center field, but right there is Lofton. And Hershiser has a quick second inning. No score, middle of the second.
Now on DVD, it's MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Get ready for all the hits, misses, and some things we just can't explain. Jam-packed with pranks, practical jokes, and bloopers. Featuring your favorite stars from Major League Baseball. MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Now on DVD.
What's up,
As a kid, my family moved around some, but no matter where we lived, baseball was always a big part of my life. Because of my dad, I grew up rooting for the Indians. I always hoped that if I worked hard, I might one day play in the major leagues. And when I joined the Indians, my dream came true.
How about that job by Jeremy Sowers?
This Sunday is Kids Opening Day at Jacobs Field. All kids receive a 2007 player calendar. Plus, kids run the bases after the game.
Share the dream.
Have you driven a Ford?
You have to ask yourself, can your truck carry over 3,000 pounds? Are you confident you have a stronger frame than anything else? Can you brag you have the only pickup that can tow 11,000 pounds? If you can, then you already own the Ford F-150, the #1 selling pickup in America. If you can't, you have to ask yourself.
Have you driven a Ford? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Sports Time Ohio's in the Windy City, bringing you the Indians' opening series with Chicago. Catch Travis Hafner and the Tribe as they look to take the best of 3 in Chi-Town. Indians versus White Sox. Wednesday at 2, only on STO.
Looking for the fastest way to buy and sell race cars and performance parts online? Click on over to RacingJunk.com, the #1 performance racing classified site in the nation. RacingJunk.com. Membership is free and the results are amazing.
It will be Albert Bell, Eddie Murray, and Jim Thome in the bottom of the second inning to take their shot at the hard-throwing right-hander Kevin Brown. No score from Jacobs Field. Kevin Brown, a 21-game winner in '92, a 15-game winner in '93. But in each of the last 2 years, he's only won 7 games each season, although he still has a chance to add to his total here in '95. Here's certainly a candidate for the American League's most valuable player. Albert Bell leading the league in homers, second in RBIs. And a bullet right back to Kevin Brown, who underhands it to first for out #1. Albert Bell had 36 homers and 105 RBIs when the night started. And here comes Eddie Murray, whom Cal Ripken Jr. paid tribute to on Wednesday night as one of the 4 people in his life that have really helped him as a ball player.
Who showed me how to play this game day in and day out. I thank him for his example and for his friendship. I was lucky to have him as my teammate for the years we were together. And I congratulate him on the great achievement of 3,000 hits this year.
Eddie Murray and Cal Ripken Jr. tonight exchanged the starting lineup cards.
Nice touch.
Yeah, it really was. They are terrific friends. Of course, Eddie Murray in Minneapolis earlier this season collected career hit number 3,000, and he still has a shot at 500 career home runs. Eddie Murray coming into tonight's ball game with 16 home runs on the year, giving him 474 in his career. Should Murray reach the 500 mark in homers, only he, Hank Aaron, and Willie Mays would have 500 homers and 3,000 career hits.
Same stance that he came up with as a rookie.
Did he go too far? No, says Mike Riley.
You know, that's just consistency. You stay the same way. And he does it from both sides of the plate, which is an advantage. But he just stays there in that crouch, waits. He's always been a little susceptible to the changeup, the off-speed pitches, but he can always handle the fastball.
Check swing tapper, that's foul on the third base side. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Well, Eddie Murray's in his 19th major league season, now 39 years old. And had it not been for the strike of last year, which of course affected us here in '95, he would this season be marking the 17th season where he has played 150 games or more. So that's that work ethic that Cal Ripken talked about. Lays off the high fastball, 2-2 the count.
Yeah, it's been a little bit easier for Eddie though, because he's been DH in the last 4 or 5 years. I know he was with the Mets and he had to play some first base, and he'll still get out at first base, but shortstop is a much more demanding position.
Full count now on Murray. Murray batting .314, 16 homers, 68 runs batted in. He of course missed a month of this season when he suffered the fractured ribs, which still bother him at times, but he'll never tell you about it. Hammered down the right field line. This is extra bases as it goes all the way to the corner. Bobby Bonilla will throw in towards second, but Murray with a stand-up double. So Murray with his 19th double of the season.
Always been a very good cripple hitter. I mean, when he gets the count in his favor, he very rarely misses his pitch. That was a ball down the middle of the plate, and he just tattooed it. Good hitters very rarely foul off a bad pitch. They put it in play, and it's usually hit hard somewhere.
That's the difference between the good and the bad hitters.
That's why I'm sitting up here trying to talk about the game.
Dave Winfield now active on the Indians bench. He and Eddie Murray. Over 6,000 career hits between the two of them, and you see Murray continuing to climb the chart.
How about Paul Molitor on that list, 2,700? Remember early in his career how many injuries he had?
He's missed over 2.5 seasons because of injuries.
To me, Molitor was one of the best guys I've ever played with as far as not getting cheated on a fastball. Pitchers knew it. They threw him an awful lot of breaking pitches. And what really impressed me, the way he ran the bases. Wasn't the fastest guy, but always took the extra base on him.
This is Jim Thome at the plate. He is one of the best young hitters now in the game. Jim Thome hitting .323, 22 homers, 60 RBIs. He's also 5th in the league in walks. He has walked 87 times, which is why he's now 8th in the league in batting. He has played as a dead pull hitter to deep right. He has as much power as any player in this club. Brown jammed him. Alexander will throw him out. 2 down as Murray advances to third. No score in this one here in inning number 2. And now Manny Ramirez, like Jim Thome, one of the better young hitters in the game.
Tom, it just doesn't stop. You have Paul Sorrento hitting behind him with 22 home runs. He's your number 8 hitter. So this lineup is solid throughout.
Paul Sorrento getting back in the lineup after that strained hamstring. Right now the Indians lead the league in batting, in home runs, and in runs scored. And on top of that, their pitching staff ranks number 1 in the American League. Hence the Cleveland Indians stand here today 48 games over 500.
Kevin Brown, the one thing I like about him, he will pitch inside. And against a free-swinging team like the Indians, you have to establish inside. Don't let them get that comfortable on the ball away, because they all hammer the ball away. Stay inside. It makes a hitter have to quicken up a little bit. Sometimes if you get jammed, like Tomei did the last at bat, it makes you want to cheat a little bit. Get the bat head out in front. When that happens, you can start mixing in off-speed pitches away, and hitters will swing at more bad pitches.
Jammed Manny Ramirez. So Kevin Brown was some good pitching to get Tomei and Ramirez after he had given up the one-out double. So this game remains scoreless after 2.
Bruce Drennan has been a fixture in Cleveland sports for more than 35 years. He's controversial, opinionated, and Cleveland, Bruce is back.
Browns, Cavs, Indians, Buckeyes, you can bet that I'll have an opinion.
All bets are off. Get the inside skinny from a man who's a Cleveland sports icon.
Wait a minute, don't interrupt me now. Hold on here.
All bets are off. Today at 3 on STO.
I love you, Cleveland.
As a kid, I always enjoyed being outside and playing sports, especially baseball. From a young age, I knew I wanted to try and play Major League Baseball, and I hoped that if I dedicated myself to my dreams, that one day I could make it to the big leagues. Life is about building upon your experiences, and experience is the key to being successful.
8 strikeouts for Cliff Lee.
Celebrate opening weekend this Saturday with the first post-game fireworks show of the season. All fans receive a 2007 magnet schedule from Giant Eagle.
It's all about the experience.
Some cars are red. Some cars are blue. Didn't shop Central? Shame on you. Central Cadillac Hummer.
A pre-owned luxury vehicle from Central? Great idea.
In 1976, Jack Nicklaus created a tournament unlike any other. A tournament that is, in a word, perfect. The perfect drive, the perfect save, the perfect approach, the perfect finish. The Memorial. Golf at its purest.
Weekly patron badges valid May 28th through June 3rd for $155. Call 614-889-6712 or visit thememorialtournament.com.
This Cadillac CTS has the performance and luxury that sets it apart from the crowd. Now you don't have to settle for something less than a Cadillac when a 2007 CTS can be yours for this very low monthly lease cost. Come see us at Central Cadillac downtown.
A victory tonight for the Cleveland Indians, and they win the American League's Central Division. The Baltimore Orioles still have an outside shot at the wild card spot, but Baltimore's problem, not that they are 5.5 games behind in the wild card race. Their problem, 6 teams ahead of them.
Yeah, and somebody every night is going to be winning.
Yep.
So it's hard to go over 6 teams. But if they put together a streak, you never know. It doesn't seem like anybody in the wild card race wants to win it.
Houston trying to bunt his way on. It's a foul ball. Well, and I think part of that, Rick, when you look at who's involved in the wild card and you look at their records, you're talking about teams hovering around 500 that very seldom put together long winning streaks.
I think everybody's kind of expecting the Seattle Mariners to all of a sudden. Tonight, I believe they're getting Randy Johnson back. Last night, I spoke to Piniella.
Yeah.
And he was talking a little bit about how, you know, we're right there. Our lineup can match anybody's, but we make a lot of defensive mistakes. And that costs us a lot of ball games.
Well, Seattle does play 2/3 of their remaining games at home, so they do have that going for them as you look at the wild card setup as the night began. Ripped to first, what a grab by Sorrento. Houston robbed of a double. Boy, that leap was timed perfectly.
And Jeff Houston saying, geez, couldn't you sit out one more game with that hamstring? Well, it's not bothering Paul anymore.
What a terrific catch by Sorrento.
A little smirk. That's a nice play.
And Jeff Houston, who came in batting .274, can't hit a ball any harder than that.
And they goes in the dugout and they say, it'll even out. Don't worry, keep swinging it. Yeah, sure.
They've been telling me that for 10 years.
Give me that little blooper. I'll take that blooper now and then.
It's the number 9 hitter, Manny Alexander. He's playing the majority of the time at second, as Brett Barbary has been a disappointment, so they've gone with a youngster. Alexander, another of the rookies, not a very big guy at 5'10", 150. He's now 24 years old. You just don't see many players, as he takes strike one, choke up on the bat handle anymore. Alexander is one of them.
He actually has the tape there, acting like a little, he used to put a little rubber knob on the end of bats so guys would choke up, but that tape is acting the same way.
A ball and 2 strikes. Why put the tape or the knob at the end of the bat? Why not just choke up?
Well, it actually gives you a better grip. Most hitters nowadays are using batting gloves. They use pine tar, so many different things. It actually gives you a better grip. And he could probably feel, he likes the feel of the knob on the bottom of his hand. So he wants to choke up and still feel that. So he has a base to push off of, you know, with the swing off of.
1-2 the count. Now the count evens.
You know, really, we try to make pitching simple. Worrell talks about how he just stays out of the middle of the plate. Doesn't want to give in to hitters. That's simple. If you can command the strike zone, you could get away with one pitch, a fastball. Have good movement on it, stay out of the middle of the area, the hitting area, and go for it.
Vizquel will gobble this up. Alexander can fly, but Vizquel makes that off-balance throw as well as anyone in the game. He just makes it look so easy.
Comes a little breaking ball off the plate. Vizquel is by far the Gold Glove winner this year again. Looking for his 3rd Gold Glove. And he'll make spectacular plays. Ripken on the other side relies so much on positioning, knowing the hitters. Vizquel can make up with his range. Covers a lot of ground.
No score, 3rd inning, 2 down, bases empty. The leadoff man, Brady Anderson, strikeout victim his first time up, takes ball 1. Anderson earlier this year had that streak of 36 consecutive stolen bases before being caught. That was an American League record, but then he was passed by Tim Raines.
Yeah, how about that? It didn't last very long, a month, and then Tim Raines picked up 37 in a row.
The breeze that had been blowing directly in from right center now blowing more toward the left field corner, so it should aid a ball hit down the left field line. And Orel Hershiser continues to look strong through the first 3 innings. No score, middle of the 3rd.
Now on DVD, it's MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Get ready for all the hits, misses, and some things we just can't explain. Jam-packed with pranks, practical jokes, and bloopers. Featuring your favorite stars from Major League Baseball. MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Now on DVD.
Enter the cage and feel the raw power and non-stop fury of Ohio Fight Fest. Experience your hometown fighters as they battle in the ultimate test of will. Witness the devastating punishment of no-holds-barred combat. It's survival of the toughest. Saturday at midnight and Sunday at 9, only on Sports Time Ohio.
Hi, I'm David DeLucia of the Cleveland Indians. Pull together for a good cause and help strike out diabetes by participating in the Verizon Wireless Swim for Diabetes. Get your free ticket to the May 19th Indians game by raising pledges. All money raised from the event stays in this community to help the 1 in 14 people with diabetes. Call the Diabetes Association of Greater Cleveland at 216-591-0800. So dive right in and make a difference.
You have to ask yourself, is your car good enough to beat both Camry and Accord in a head-to-head competition? Do you feel secure knowing that your car has class-exclusive all-wheel drive? Does your car give you a spirited performance and 31 miles per gallon? If it does, then you already own the new Ford Fusion, the car ranked most preferred by J.D. Power. If you don't, you have to ask yourself.
Jose Mesa with a fashion statement. It's not that chilly.
I talked about the bullpen, how phenomenal they've been all year. Well, he's a big reason why. They didn't really know what they had in Jose 39 out of 41 save opportunities.
And a candidate for MVP and Cy Young in the American League.
I like to give credit to the other guys out there in the bullpen, the guys that are enabling Mike Hargrove, the setup guys. Julian Tavares, 9 wins in the bullpen. Alan Embry, Jim Poole, Assenmacher, Eric Plunk. They've been phenomenal all year.
Paul Sorrento's had a big year as a part-time player, facing only the right-handers. He strained the hamstring last weekend in Detroit, has not played until tonight. He is now the Baltimore bat boy going out with a tongue depressor for Kevin Brown. Certainly wouldn't be a file, would it?
Not that obvious. Keep that file in that back pocket.
2-1 the count. Little number foul. 2-2 the count on Sorrento.
You brought that up. Joe Niekro, I'll never forget. Remember, Palermo comes out to the mound. It's in Minnesota. Niekro, you know, he goes into his back pocket, and out comes the file on the ground, and Palermo just looked at it. What? It was file? Oh, boy. Joe's face could have killed you. I caught him in New York, too.
Full count now on Sorrento.
Oh, boy, that was funny. And everybody wonders, well, what can you do with the file? Well, all you got to do is put a little scratch in the ball, a little scuff mark, and you can make it as a pitcher move any way you want.
Brown gets to it before it goes foul, and he'll tag out Sorrento. And we by no means are indicating that Kevin Brown is using a file. We were just joking with the bat boy going out there with a tongue depressor to knock out the dirt or mud from underneath his spikes, which Kevin Brown is doing right now.
Well, actually, you see what Kevin Brown, the way his ball moves, that good heavy sinker that we talked about. Oral Hershiser, good movement on the fastball. Well, guys that don't have that movement, maybe will scuff a ball. I know I caught pitchers that can actually do it with their fingernails. Scrape it up, use it to their advantage.
No score, 3rd inning. Number 9 hitter Sandy Alomar takes the slider low and away. Sandy batting .279, 7 homers, 27 runs batted in. Had knee surgery for the 4th time this past April. Really did not come back till around the All-Star break. A ball into strike on Alomar. Sandy Alomar really the first piece of the puzzle for the Indians when they acquired him from San Diego, Rookie of the Year in 1990, and really the first to sign a multi-year contract, one of the young players that made Cleveland his home year-round, and he was the first building block as this franchise has really turned itself around.
Yeah, an interesting thing, Tom. Sorry, I looked back, 1991. At this time, they were 40-82. The Indians. So in a 4-year period, they've really come a long way. A lot of credit, I guess you'd have to give to John Hart, the general manager, making the trades. Kenny Lofton coming over, adding a veteran here and there. Murray, Pena, Hershiser, Dennis Martinez. So all the pieces of the puzzle finally falling together.
2-2 the count on Alomar, who's hit by the pitch. Well, Brown came up and in on the pitch before, then nails Alomar on that 2-2 offering. Well, Hank Peters really got things going here in Cleveland when he got the farm system to start producing as Alomar gets drilled. And then Hank Peters brought in John Hart and Danny O'Dowd, taught them the ropes, and they have taken it to the next level. And it's interesting because Hank Peters, John Hart, Danny O'Dowd, all coming out of the Baltimore Orioles system. And the owner of the Indians to your far right, Dick Jacobs. He has given them the wherewithal to make this a viable franchise, and then of course getting the ballpark the crowning achievement.
Yeah, how about how they play here at this ballpark? They love being at home. This year,
45 and 14.
45 and 14
at home.
31 over 500. You'll win a lot of divisions if you play that well.
Kenny Lofton, the leadoff hitter, lined to short his first time up. No score, 3rd inning, 1 out, 1 on. A ball and a strike on Lofton, who lifetime is batting .343 against Kevin Brown. And having a much better year against right-handers. Baltimore outfield playing Lofton as an opposite field hitter as they play him toward left. On the right side, through the right side. Alomar, the big turn at second. He'll try for third. Bonilla's throw will be cut off. And the Indians with runners at the corners and one down in the third as they threaten to break this scoreless tie.
Well, Tom, you hit the nail right on the head, and I'll tell you what I mean. The defense was set up shading Lofton the other way. They're shading him the other way, but yet they throw him off-speed pitches. If you're going to play against your defense, but you're hurting yourself. That was an off-speed breaking ball inside. That'll let Lofton pull the ball a lot easier. You had the right idea. They're playing him the other way. You have to pitch him hard and away. Play him to your defense. That's a bad job. I don't know who to blame. Either the catcher, because he calls the pitch, or maybe Kevin Brown shook off Horace.
Now Vizquel, the switch hitting shortstop, and Brown nearly picked off Lofton. Kevin Brown has one of the best moves in the American League for a right-hander. He is very difficult to run on. And Lofton at first has 34 stolen bases, but has been caught 12 times. Lofton trying to win his 4th straight stolen base crown, but it doesn't look like it will happen. Fouled off to the left, strike one. Well, John Maroon, public relations director for the Baltimore Orioles, indicating to us that Arthur Rhodes underwent surgery on his left shoulder to repair a slight tear, and he'll be in a sling for a month. Surgery was performed today by Dr. James Andrews in Birmingham. So Arthur Rhodes, who's had the disappointing year, today with the shoulder surgery, a slight tear in that left shoulder.
Yeah, that's one of the starters that Phil Reagan felt he had coming out of spring training. The other being Ben McDonald, who I believe is on a rehab start tonight for Rochester.
That's right.
So there's 2 of the 5. Sid Fernandez is the 3rd. He's in the National League. I mean, you know, he had to maneuver and make different moves that he didn't anticipate. So it's been a frustrating year.
The strength of this club coming into the season was its rotation, but it's been decimated. Vizquel lays off the high slider. A ball and a strike on the Indian shortstop, who tapped to first his first time up. No score, but the Indians with runners at the corners, 1 down in the 3rd. The outfield playing Vizquel the same as they played Lofton, to the opposite field or toward left.
And it's a great spot for Omar in this situation. You have a base stealer at first. Tendency for the catcher is to call more fastballs. Look for the fastball, cheat on it, and try to pull it through the hole at first base.
Should be deep enough. Goodwin with the catch. Alomar with the tag. And the throw not nearly in time, and the Indians have taken the lead 1-0. Omar Vizquel, believe it or not, leads the American League in sacrifice flies. That was his league-high 10th, giving him 47 runs batted in.
Actually, Omar does a nice job. You try as a hitter to get the ball up in the strike zone. Got a fastball up in the strike zone and hits the fly ball. Who said catchers can't run? Look at Sandy get down that line. Gotta like those catchers hustling.
2 down. Tribe on top of the Orioles. 1-0 in the 3rd, and Carlos Baerga, who bounced to first his first time up. Now Brown, a sinker ball pitcher who gets a lot of ground ball outs, couldn't get the double play ball. And on the pitch out, Brown almost threw it over the plate.
For some reason, pitchers have tough times. They change their delivery on a pitch out. All of a sudden, they see the pitch out sign. They speed up their motion. You want the runner to run in that spot. Stay the same, and all you do as a pitcher, try to split the other batter's box. Throw the ball up and away for a catcher to handle. That's the best pitch for a catcher to handle, the ball up in the strike zone.
When Brown throws to first, he throws BBs.
You got to be on your toes at first base.
Man. Kevin Brown, a walk-on at Georgia Tech, has his degree in chemical engineering. He and Jim Poole, former college teammates. Poole now in the Indians bullpen. 2-0 the count on Baerga. Not the type of hitter you want to pitch to from behind.
Another very good cripple hitter. I think Carlos will sit on pitches more than any one of their hitters in this lineup. Maybe with the exception of a veteran like Eddie Murray. And even Albert Bell now sits on a pitch for an at-bat.
Broken bat, but it'll be a base hit to right field. Lofton will try for third. Bonilla's throw cut off by Ripken. And the Indians again with runners at the corners. 2 men out and Albert Bell coming to the plate. Now when you say sitting on a pitch as Baerga with that base hit, does that mean they're looking just for one particular pitch?
Yeah, some hitters will sit on one pitch or one zone. They may be looking for a ball up and out over the plate. They'll sit on that until they get 2 strikes. Be patient enough. You could do that. You're going to get a good ball to hit. You know, you're going to stay inside yourself and do what you want to do. If you're a good fastball hitter, say down and in, middle in, while you try to zone inside. Anything away, you just give it to the pitcher. Tip your hat. It's very hard for pitchers to put the ball exactly where they want 3 times in a row.
Albert Bell hit one sharply back to the mound his first time up. Indians lead 1-0. 2 down in the third. Runners at the corners. Missing inside was Kevin Brown. Albert Bell trying to become the first Cleveland Indian to lead the league in home runs since Rocky Colavito in 1959. Right now, Bell leads the league with 36, 2 more than Frank Thomas and Rafael Palmeiro.
You see just from that tape, Brown has a reputation of pitching right-hand hitters inside. I mean, Albert didn't even offer at that little slider off the plate away from our home plate camera. Never even offered. So that tells you as a catcher, he's sitting on something on the inner half of the plate. Stay away from that zone if you can.
Fouled off to the upper deck on the right side. 2 balls and a strike on Bell. Looked like that time he got him to chase the slider.
Again, not giving in. This is a little bit different. I haven't seen Kevin Brown pitch for 2 years, and he's using a lot more sliders than I remember. He used to just go right after hitters. Didn't even give the hitter any credit whatsoever. Here, I'm going to pound you with this heavy sinker. Try to hit it.
It's interesting because Phil Regan was saying the night before the game, Kevin Brown has lost confidence in his stuff. And Phil keeps telling him, you have better stuff than what you give yourself credit for. 3 balls and a strike on Bell.
I love the home plate camera because it really gives the viewer an idea what it's like to be up there. You see how the movement on the pitch coming from the pitcher, how the catcher will try to set up late inside. You don't want to set up early inside because a hitter can really feel that.
Slider for strike 2. Bell checked his swing, but it was in there. Now the count is full.
Again, 3-1 breaking ball right on the outside part of the plate. Tip your hat. Now hope he makes a mistake. 3-2.
Baerga will be off at first. Lofton the runner at third. 1-0 Cleveland. The payoff pitch. Ball 4. Threw him another slider. First walk by Kevin Brown, and now he faces Eddie Murray, who ripped a double off him his first time up. So the bases are loaded with 1 down for Eddie Murray, and here comes former Cy Young winner and now Baltimore pitching coach Mike Flanagan. Talk about a guy that had terrific stuff at one time, Mike Flanagan.
And I really think guys like Mike Flanagan, guys that utilized all their pitches, are the best pitching coaches because they didn't have the overpowering stuff. They had to trick you to get you out. Use the breaking ball, set up your fastball, off-speed pitches. They make the best pitching coaches because they had a pitch out there. They just couldn't throw the ball. Roger Clemens, 95 miles an hour. You know, you don't have to think that much. Go ahead and throw it and try to hit it.
Richie Dower tells a great story about Mike Flanagan. They were teammates in Baltimore. Richie was the second baseman. Said Flanagan gave up a home run once out by the Monuments. Dower ran to the mound to try to settle him down. Flanagan right off the bat said to Richie, "Did you see Babe roll his eyes when that ball went out by him?" Richie said, "I guess I didn't have to settle him down." Murray check, but did he go around? No, says third base umpire Mike Riley. And look at those numbers for Eddie Murray. 17 grand slams, third on the all-time list behind Lou Gehrig and Willie McCovey. Lofton at third, Baerga at second, Bell at first. 1-0 Cleveland, 2 down in the third. 2-0 the count on Eddie Murray.
See, this is what makes it very difficult for a pitcher. You know, you saw how he pitched around. Brown pitched around Bell. All right, now you got Murray. Well, you're going to pitch around him with the bases loaded. Well, you got Jim Thome on deck. Doesn't stop. A pitcher does not have a breather in it.
But he's going to get out of it, except that's a foul ball.
Yeah, if you're a pitcher, you're saying, stay fair. Please, stay fair. Oh, no, it went foul. I still have to face Murray.
2-1, the count on Eddie Murray.
I talked about how most hitters nowadays wear batting gloves. Well, Eddie's from the old school. Look, he's got his fingers taped up. I don't need those batting gloves.
Says he likes the feel of the bat. And it doesn't matter what type of weather. 3-1, the count on Murray. One more bad one, and it's 2-0 Cleveland.
Oh, you remember Kevin Brown had a couple of easy innings? Well, he's getting his first pitches over for strikes. 5 strikes for the first 7 hitters. Now his last 7 hitters, only 2 first pitch strikes. You start falling behind good hitters, they're going to make you pay.
The 3-1 pitch. Right back up the middle. This will score 2. Lofton will score. Baerga around third. He will score. 3-0 Cleveland on the 2-out, 2-run single by Eddie Murray. Brown got behind on Murray and paid the price.
Get behind, and you see that, Eddie? I mean, that ball's a sinker away. He's just a professional hitter. Can't pull that ball. You have to take it right back up the middle. He's just an RBI machine. He's been doing it for so long, hitting over 400 with the bases loaded.
Murray now with 70 RBIs this year, despite missing a month with the broken ribs. He's at first, Bell at second, Jim Thome at the plate. On the ground to first, Palmeiro will flip to Brown, the third time that combination has worked in the first 3 innings. But the Indians with 3 lead it. We'll return with Baseball Night in America, the Baltimore Orioles and the Cleveland Indians after this from your local station.
SportsTalkCleveland.com, Ohio's highest-rated internet broadcast station, brings you total Cleveland sports coverage 24/7. Click your way to SportsTalkCleveland.com for live audio and video shows featuring the Browns, Indians, and Cavs. Plus, get informed with the net's best wrestling and mixed martial arts programming. Listen live or send it to your iPod. Go to SportsTalkCleveland.com for 24/7 coverage of Cleveland sports.
As a kid, I always enjoyed being outside and playing sports, especially baseball. From a young age, I knew I wanted to try and play Major League Baseball, and I hoped that if I dedicated myself to my dreams, that one day I could make it to the big leagues. Life is about building upon your experiences, and experience is the key to being successful.
8 strikeouts for Cliff Lee.
Celebrate opening weekend this Saturday with the first post-game fireworks show of the season. All fans receive a 2007 magnet schedule from Giant Eagle.
It's all about the experience.
Remember how it felt the last time you flew out of that big airport? So next time, why not fly out of Akron Canton instead, with nearby parking, shorter lines, less crowds and confusion? The Akron Canton Airport, a better way to go. Visit our website to see all the reasons why.
What is up, Chad?
Get in the van.
All right, listen up, bro. My circle's gotta go.
Why? Being able to choose the people you call for free no matter what network they're on is great. Now we can all be friends.
We don't need more friends, so knock it off.
Okay?
Yeah, we'll have to do stuff.
Like what?
Something bad.
Yeah.
So what level Dungeon Master you guys?
Dungeon Masters don't have levels.
Oh.
Dork.
It's time to get what you want from your wireless company. To find out more, take the head-to-head challenge.
Come and get your love.
Okay.
3-0 Cleveland as we go to the 4th inning. Curtis Goodwin With strike one, a strikeout victim his first time up. Number 2 hitter and Baltimore center fielder. Off the plate towards Sorrento, but foul. 0-2 the count.
Curtis Goodwin really gives an awful lot of credit to going to play winter baseball. Went to Australia his first year. Australia, that's not a bad place to go play winter baseball. Last year he was out in Arizona playing for Scottsdale. You know who his teammate was? Michael Jordan. Not a bad experience. But he said that winter baseball just keeps you learn. The more at bats you get, the better you become.
Goodwin in the hole, 0-2. Orel Hershiser has struck out 3 through the first 3 innings. Baltimore without a hit. Hershiser walking Palmeiro in the first, the Birds' only base runner. A ball and 2 strikes on Goodwin. Going to Australia to play is not a bad idea unless you're bit by that same mosquito that got Dave Nilsson of the Brewers. Knocked him out for a couple of months this year with that rare fever. This could be a tough play, but Thome with a great stab. Still the speed of Goodwin beats the throw, and Goodwin with the first hit for Baltimore as the Orioles get the leadoff man on.
It's amazing speed. Gets jammed on the ball, fights it off. Thome has to go to his right to reach the ball, and by that time it's no contest.
He really gets down that line in a hurry.
Yeah, you talk to managers. What do you want, power or speed? They said, well, speed shows up every day. We'll take the speed.
Goodwin has 21 stolen bases. He's been caught only 4 times. As Palmeiro lifts it out of play on the left side for strike 1.
Nice success against Orel in his career. That's really not a good, you know, it's only 12 at bats against a pitcher. I really think the good read is after you have 25, 30 at bats.
Sure.
A manager sometimes tends to make out his lineup. If a guy has that much success after 30 at bats. Raphael's numbers are like that against most pitchers, though.
Former Chicago Cub, former Texas Ranger. 0-2 the count on Palmeiro, who walked his first time up. He's second in the league to Albert Bell with 34 homers, 9th in the league in RBIs with 91, and he's been hot over the last 15 games, hitting at a .443 clip as he tries to catch that man in the home run derby.
What makes him successful? I don't see any tension at all in his swing. Very fluid, very relaxed.
Sharply by Ergen, tipped off the end of his glove, and Goodwin will speed to third. So back-to-back singles. The Orioles are threatening. Now for an update, let's go to Hannah Storm.
Thanks a lot, Tom. Well, Texas and Milwaukee have both stumbled badly in the wild card race, but it's not because of B.J. Surhoff. Off Bobby Witt down the right field line and off the foul pole. His 12th home run of the year. He's right in the thick of the batting race. Look at this cheesehead with the helmet on, celebrating. Brewers over the Rangers 6-1 in the third. And Boston at New York tonight. Bottom of the first, Darryl Strawberry facing Tim Wakefield. And Wakefield's knuckler flat on that pitch. It was a 3-run home run for Strawberry. Mike Stanley has added a solo shot. Wakefield struggled in 3 of his last 4 starts, and his team trailing 5-0.
Thank you, Hannah. Bobby Bonilla missing on that first offering. Boy, Tim Wakefield at one point this season was unhittable.
It's a matter of getting the knuckleball over for strikes early in the count. Falls behind, has to use his fastball a little bit more.
Could be 2. Sorrento to second for 1. Vizquel's relay, double play, but a run will score. And it's a 3-1 Cleveland lead as Goodwin crosses the plate. No RBI for Bonilla, who is now 0 for 2.
One of the toughest plays to make is a right-handed first baseman. Got to pivot, turn, and get back to the base. Omar had a little trouble finding the bag, but Bonilla doesn't get down the line like he used to.
Vizquel did not take any chances on that phantom double play. He went for it a second time as Cal Ripken, who flied to right, looks at ball 1. Cal Ripken Jr. started his streak back on May 30th of 1982. The ball on the strike. Interesting when you look at some of the happenings when he started his streak. Gordon Johncock would beat Rick Mears in the Indy 500 that year. Top hitter in the American League, Toby Hare of the Indians, was batting .384 the day he started his streak. Ron Renicky was leading the league in homers for the Orioles with a dozen.
I think it was great. Jim Gott, who actually pitched in that ball game, the first game, presented Cal with the baseball, and that was his first major league win. Offered to give it to
That's
Cal.
right.
Cal sent it back to him. He said, you deserve this a lot more than I do.
2-2 the count on Ripken. Orioles PR department, John Maroon, the head of that, did a great job of putting some interesting thing. Archie Bunker's Place, One Day at a Time, The Jeffersons, Trapper John M.D. Those were the top TV shows when he started his streak 13 years ago.
I think the most amazing thing, over 3,700 major leaguers have been on the DL during that time. 3,700. Cal hasn't missed any games.
He's come close. In fact, he said the closest was when they had that bench clearing brawl and somebody fell on his ankle, and that night he told his wife Kelly there was no way he'd play the next day, but he got to the clubhouse early and somehow was able to get out there and play.
Right off the ankle.
And the other night we saw Devon White of the Toronto Blue Jays do that and break his foot. And again, that's just part of that is just pure luck. 2-2 the count on Ripken. 2 down in the Baltimore fourth. 3-1 Cleveland on top. Now full count on Ripken.
Some bad news. I hear Bart talking about Kinston, the Indians Carolina League team, won the championship. Not only the Indians tonight here, but their Class A team beating the Wilmington Blue Rocks. I have a vested interest in that team.
Oh, do you?
Yes, and I know Bart's doing that on purpose tonight.
Bart Swain, the Indians head of media relations.
Matter of fact, John Hart and I, he's been ribbing me pretty hard about the Blue Rocks. But it's not only the major league team. You can take a lot of pride, especially if you're the general manager, throughout the organization. Kingston is winning tonight. They clinched. They won the Carolina League championship. Watertown is trying to win the New York Penn League championship tonight.
Just got a piece of it to stay alive at 3-2.
Yeah, they take a lot of pride to see. I think, you know, what's special about the minor leagues is that you see the kids, they come in one year and the next thing you know, they're up in the big leagues.
Cal Ripken, of course, had some big years in the minor leagues at Rochester. Stays alive at 3-2.
And you know that ankle is barking right now. When you foul a ball off your ankle, lots of times, see, he's still flexing it, and Orioles not going to give in. He's still throwing that sinker down and into him.
No sympathy.
No sympathy whatsoever. Yeah, that's barking a little bit. That's not a toe. He didn't hit that off his toe. He hit that off his ankle.
This next offering will be the 10th pitch of this battle between Hershiser and Ripken. Ripken, former Rookie of the Year in '82, beat out Kent Herbeck and Wade Boggs. And the battle will be won by Hershiser this time on the pop to Vizquel. But the Orioles get on the board. Middle of the fourth, Cleveland on top, 3-1.
There's a Hummer store at a brand new place. Central Hummer East, a brand new face. Hummer service, Hummer fun. Everything Hummer under the sun. Central Hummer East in Beechwood.
A pre-owned luxury vehicle from Central? Great idea.
In 1976, Jack Nicklaus created a tournament unlike any other. A tournament that is, in a word, perfect. The perfect drive, the perfect save, the perfect approach, the perfect finish. The Memorial. Golf at its purest.
Weekly patron badges valid May 28th through June 3rd for $155. Call 614-889-6712 or visit thememorialtournament.com.
This Hummer H3, looking very cool and ready for anything, has your name on it, and it can be yours for a very low monthly cost. Come see us at Central Hummer downtown, or drive our test track at Central Hummer East in Beechwood.
Bruce Drennan has been a fixture in Cleveland sports for more than 35 years. He's controversial, opinionated, and Cleveland, Bruce is back.
Browns, Cavs, Indians, Buckeyes, you can bet that I'll have an opinion.
All bets are off. Get the inside skinny from a man who's a Cleveland sports icon.
Wait a minute, don't interrupt me now. Hold on here.
All bets are off. Today at 3 on STO.
I love you, Cleveland.
Sports Time Ohio's in the Windy City, bringing you the Indians' opening series with Chicago. Catch Travis Hafner and the Tribe as they look to take the best of 3 in Chi-Town. Indians versus White Sox. Wednesday at 2, only on STO.
Manny Ramirez will lead off for Cleveland on top of the Orioles 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Ramirez tapped back to the mound his first time up. Indians got to Kevin Brown for 3 in the 3rd. Bottom 3rd of Mike Hargrove's lineup. Number 7 hitter with 31 homers. Your number 8 hitter with 22.
Remember the first at bat, Ramirez got jammed. Brown is still throwing fastballs in off the plate. As a catcher, you have to keep your eye on. The hitter will back up off the plate now and try to free up his hands a little bit and get through the inside pitch. So you always have to watch. You know, these hitters will play a lot of games with them.
2-1 the count on Ramirez. He too a candidate for the MVP in the American League, which is going to be an interesting vote. A lot of candidates around the league this year. 3-1. You look at Mo Vaughn and Tim Wakefield from Boston, Edgar Martinez from Seattle. Cleveland really boasts of 3, and Ramirez, Bell, and Mesa.
Maybe Edmonds for California.
Jim Edmonds of California. Charged at 3rd by Houston. He'll make the play. Low throw, but Palmeiro keeps the foot on the bag. Paul Sorrento hit a comebacker his first time up. In the air to left. Brady Anderson will put it away. 2 down.
I just can't get over how the whole city of Cleveland has turned on to the Indians. I remember, I was their #1 pick in '75, coming up in August of that year to play in the big leagues and playing at Municipal Stadium empty. I mean, it was tough. I mean, a big, huge stadium. All of a sudden, you build the ballpark, you have the players on the field, and the whole city transforms. Everybody's excited.
Well, baseball fever has been rampant here for really 2 years. This ballpark opening last season, the Indians would have been in the playoffs had it not been for the strike. And the carryover here to 95 as everybody, even the downtown businesses,
wherever you go,
getting into it.
Wherever you go, everybody's talking Indians baseball. That's nice.
And it's a rarity to see somebody not wearing something with the Indians, be it a cap, a t-shirt. Alexander has trouble getting rid of it and doesn't get rid of it. A base hit for Sandy Alomar as Alexander, charging that, comes up limping. You wonder now if he pulled a muscle of some kind. Looked like he really slipped on the grass.
That looks very painful. Now, I remember I talked about catchers running. Now, see, Sandy pulls off that ball, still gets the bat on it. Now, an infield single. I love to see those catchers get those infield hits. Here he has trouble getting rid of the ball, winds up on top of his head, slipped out of his hand. Watch this. Slips, hey, right on top of the head.
You know, it looked there like he may have pulled a groin muscle because it looked like he reached down after he had lost the ball. You could see the feet kind of slip apart. And he is not going to be able to stay in this ballgame.
In a lot of pain.
And still another injury for Phil Regan and the Baltimore Orioles. They've been beset by injuries all year long. And Manny Alexander. Watch when he tries to get rid of the ball, and then watch what his reaction is. Right there.
Just as he was trying to release the baseball, you can see the face.
So Alexander slowly hobbling off the field. Indians with a base runner on top 3-1 in the 4th inning. And don't forget, next Sunday, Mad About You moves to its new night, Sunday at 8, 7 Central. Must-see TV comes to NBC next Sunday with Mad About You right here on NBC.
Coming into play second base for Baltimore, number 2,
Brett Barbary will come on now to play second base for the Orioles as Alexander will slowly head to the clubhouse.
Didn't look like a very complicated play, but doesn't take much. That's why when you talk about the streak of Ripken, it just amazes you that much more. Very routine play, a little ground ball. Next thing you know, his ankle twists, pulls a groin, he's out of the lineup.
So Barbary takes over at second with 2 down. The Indians with a 2-run lead at 3-1 here in the 4th. Lofton at the plate has lined to short, single to right, and scored a run last inning. Lofton now batting .313. Since 1950, there's been only one American League team that has had 3 outfielders hit .300 or better. The 1988 Yankees with Claudell Washington, Dave Winfield, and Rickey Henderson. And the Indians right now have 3 outfielders all above .300. 1-1 the count.
That's amazing. Since 1950?
Yep.
Wow. And you would never think that the '88 Yankees would be included in there.
And Claudell Washington had the
a
big
real
year.
big year.
Yep. Albert Bell is over .300, as is Manny Ramirez, and the man at the plate, Kenny Lofton. The runner goes. Pitch is high, and no throw by Hoyles as Alomar got a great jump. Just the second attempt by Alomar this year and his first stolen base.
Well, a lot is to do with Rassi. Palmeiro's playing behind him. Brown doesn't pay any attention. And there goes the catcher stealing a base, a rarity in baseball. Love it. I love it tonight. Sandy, you're making me proud.
Alomar still playing with that tender left knee. Has a big lead at second. But the stolen base does no further damage. And the score remains 3-1 Cleveland as we've played 4.
Everybody wants the new LG from Alta Wireless. Get yours today.
With features like remote power liftgate, remote engine starter, rear backup camera and navigation system. In Jeep Commander or Jeep Grand Cherokee, you can escape to the wilderness. And when necessary, you can escape from it. Enter the cage and feel the raw power and non-stop fury of Ohio Fight Fest. Experience your hometown fighters as they battle in the ultimate test of will. Witness the devastating punishment of no-holds-barred combat. It's survival of the toughest. Saturday at midnight and Sunday at 9, only on Sports Time Ohio.
Cal Ripken Jr., who banged that foul ball off that left foot. What do you think? Will he take tomorrow off?
No. That's not going to keep Cal out of the lineup. But, you know, he's testing it. Wouldn't be surprised if he'd go in and get it bandaged up, tape it up, a little extra support.
As he heads up to the clubhouse. 3-1, Baltimore on the short end as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Harold Baines, Chris Hoyles, Jeff Hewson, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Orel Hershiser has been strong through the first 4. Baines struck out his first time up. For Orel Hershiser, pitching with a lot on the line is nothing new. Of course, 1988, his Cy Young season. As Baines hits it right over the bag at first, Sorrento makes the play himself. Hershiser pitched Game 5 of the World Series and won it. And that wrapped up the World Series for the Dodgers when they beat the Oakland A's. He also pitched in Game 7 and won against the New York Mets in the National League Championship Series, leading to the World Series. So here tonight, he's on the mound for the Indians, and with a victory tonight, would wrap up the Central Division title. And that's why the Indians went out and acquired a guy like Orel Hershiser. They felt they needed somebody that has been through the wars before to help stabilize the staff.
To go along with Dennis Martinez, Winfield, Murray, John Hart. You know, he's been very honest. He said, I'd love to have prospects at every position, but I don't. And you have to fill in the pieces of the puzzle. And he's done a great job here.
Indians starting rotation over the last 2 weeks with an earned run average of under 3. So their mini slump is over, and they're getting hot at the right time as you look ahead to October. And there you look at some of the others. Charlie Nagy, Chad O.J.
Yeah, I don't see.
There's Bud Black, who had been a member of the rotation, now part-time coach.
The only weakness I see, if you want to call it a weakness, against left-handed starters, they're 22 and 14. So that makes you think, well, okay, the Angels, they may be matched up against the Angels. And they have 4 lefty starters. The other thing, their defense. They commit errors. And you know, in a short series, pitching and defense is usually what wins ball games.
A ball and 2 strikes on Hoyles, who lined to center his first time up. He's hitting over 400 the last 2 weeks. 2-2 the count.
Well, one thing about Hoyles, and I remember from catching behind him, you always had to keep your eyes on him. He had a tendency to maybe peek back and try to see location where you were moving. You know, a little shifty eyes. You got to watch out for those catchers. Every once in a while, it'll look like he'd be looking at the bat, but he was trying to take a peek at signs. And you just remind him, hey, Chris, okay, let's play fair here.
How do you stop someone from doing that?
you work it where you put down the slider and you throw a fastball up and in.
Sunday, NBC Sports presents an exciting NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL on NBC. Now featured on our doubleheader lineup, most of you will see Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and the Dallas Cowboys, fresh off their 35-0 shutout of the Giants, take on the dangerous John Elway and the Denver Broncos. In our early games, most of you will see an AFC East showdown between Marino's Dolphins and Bledsoe's Patriots. Others will see the Raiders visit Washington or the Steelers battle the Oilers. Then in game 2 of the doubleheader, most of you will see the Denver-Dallas showdown or regional action. Check your local listings. It all gets started Sunday, 12:30 Eastern. The NFL on NBC will take you all the way to Super Bowl 30. 2-0 the count on Jeff Hewson, who hit a bullet to first baseman Paul Sorrento, who made a leaping catch his first time up to take a double away from Hewson. 2 down, bases empty in the 5th. Baltimore trailing 3-1, and Hershiser's missed on 3 straight to Hewson. Hershiser now with 4 strikeouts. The Orioles have mustered only 2 hits. Phil Regan saying probably the biggest disappointment this year has been Baltimore's offense. He thought that they would hit much better. And in fact, they're now 13th in the league in batting and 11th in the league in runs scored. And Hewson with a 2-out walk.
And the question I asked him, I said, have you thought about Bobby Bonilla at third base? And he talked about, yeah, we've played Bobby at third base, but he's more comfortable in right field. Something that they'll consider. He said that probably would have been nice for a short run, putting him at third, giving him a better offensive lineup. He said, but for the long haul, he'll be our right fielder.
Now Brett Barbary, batting for the first time, took over for the injured Manny Alexander and takes strike one. Hershiser with his 70th pitch there. And we're in inning number 5 with Cleveland on top 3-1. Barbary has had a disappointing season. Nothing and 2 the count.
You know, when a guy switches leagues, go from the National League where you spent your entire career, you come to the American League. Well, now you started feeling pretty good in the National League, knowing the pitchers, knowing the catchers. I always felt you had to learn the catchers, what type of patterns they like to call pitches. They're the ones that are putting down the signs. Now you come to a new league, you're starting all over again. Some guys it takes a little bit longer to get adjusted to.
Blocked nicely by Alomar. Staying at first is Jeff Hewson. The ball and 2 strikes on Barbary. Does it take a full year to adjust to a new league?
Pretty much. I mean, especially this was a really different year.
Yeah.
Rushed up spring training. Guys really weren't ready, in shape early in the season. You played yourself into condition. Yeah, it takes pretty much a full year, but you have to rely on your veteran teammates to give you the scouting reports. I know they have advanced scouts that do the work and give you reports, but basically you want to hear from your own teammates. What kind of movement does he have on his fastball?
Barbary coming from the Florida Marlins. 2-2 the count on the switch hitting second baseman. Full count. So Hewson will be off at first. And Hershiser having trouble with the 8 and 9 hitters. He walked Hewson, and now the string is out on Brett Barbary. Brett Barbary, got the first hit in Florida Marlins history, and he got it off the man on the mound, Orel Hershiser. And he now draws the 2-out walks. So back-to-back walks to the 8 and 9 hitters. And the tying runs are on with 2 down in the Baltimore 5th as we go to the top of the order, and Brady Anderson. And Hershiser normally has very good control, has now walked 3.
Mark Wiley will come out, and just seemed like Orel's whole rhythm just started breaking down. He got off the mound, he walked around trying to regroup himself. You like to see that from a veteran pitcher, but just struggling right now with his control.
3-1 Cleveland on top of Baltimore. The Birds batting in the 5th inning, 2 down, 2 on. Brady Anderson has struck out and grounded to short. Mark Wiley taking over for Phil Regan after Regan became manager of the Orioles, and the Indians have not missed a beat as Wiley's staff ranked #1 in the American League. And Phil Regan had a big part in developing this staff a year ago, in particular converting Jose Mesa to the bullpen. Anderson foul tips the first offering.
Yeah, and you could tell Phil took a little pride in Mesa this year.
You bet.
Didn't really surprise him. He said he's always had the arm strength and the pitches. It just, you know, you put a guy in that situation, he has to respond, and he did very well this year.
What Phil Regan did was teach Jose Mesa that 2-seam fastball, in other words the sinker, to give him a little more movement on the fastball. A ball into strike now to Anderson. It was Phil Regan who last spring convinced Mike Hargrove, well, hey, let's try Mesa in the bullpen. Much like the Dennis Eckersley conversion, although Eckersley had a lot more success as a starter than did Mesa. But Mesa's had a year that's second to none, setting a American League record with 37 consecutive saves. Right back to Hershiser, a terrific fielder, and he leaped high to take a hit away from Anderson and get out of it here in the 5th. It's still 3-1.
Now on DVD, it's MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Get ready for all the hits, misses, and some things we just can't explain. Jam-packed with pranks, practical jokes, and bloopers. Featuring your favorite stars from Major League Baseball. MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball, now on DVD.
You have to ask yourself, does your crossover rule the road with best-in-class horsepower? Can you plug in your entire library of tunes with a convenient MP3 audio jack? Can you truly experience the world around you with a class-exclusive panoramic Vista roof? If you can, then you already own the all-new Ford Edge, the coolest new crossover to hit the street. If you can't, you have to ask yourself, have you driven
About every 3 minutes, someone buys a new tire at Conrad's. And overall, 80% of our purchases come from repeat customers. They know that nobody beats Conrad's discount tire prices, or we double the difference back. And we guarantee 4 tires installed in 30 minutes. Right now, it's our employee pricing sale. Save 20% on select Goodyear, Kelly, Dunlop, and BF Goodrich tires. Discount tire prices, 30-minute installation, only at Conrad's.
Hi, I'm David DeLucia of the Cleveland Indians. Pull together for a good cause and help strike out diabetes by participating in the Verizon Wireless Swim for Diabetes. Get your free ticket to the May 19th Indians game by raising pledges. All money raised from the event stays in this community to help the 1 in 14 people with diabetes. Call the Diabetes Association of Greater Cleveland at 216-591-0800. So dive right in and make a difference.
It's official. The streak continues. 2,132 for Cal Ripken Jr. As this game now official with the Indians on top 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Another standing ovation for Cal Ripken Jr. Omar Vizquel will lead off, and Brown misses with the first offering.
It was funny. Cal had a press conference again today. He said he kind of thought it was all going to end. But he had a little press conference at 5 o'clock. Everybody gathered, and a lot of the same questions. He's actually had a day off yesterday, the parade.
It's amazing how he has handled all of the questions, because let's face it, from city to city they're going to be the same, but he realizes everybody wants to hear about it, and he has been the best thing to happen to baseball in the last 2 years.
Yeah, he made, I mean, you really appreciated the game that we all grew up loving. And even though we've had some tough times the last couple of years, especially last year losing the World Series, it made us realize how important and how much fun baseball can be.
The thing too about baseball, Rick, no other sport, and this is not to denigrate football, basketball, hockey, but no other sport has its milestones or its big moments that are as big as baseball's. Fouled at the plate. Full count now in Vizquel, but I mean, you don't have anything that comes close to this, nor do you have people remember the milestone numbers, be it home runs or base hits or the consecutive game streak, like we have in baseball.
Yeah, the 3,000 hits, the 500 home runs, 300 wins for a pitcher.
And he is what makes this game so special. Vizquel has bounced to first and knocked in a run with a sac fly in the 3rd.
I think Cal, the way he handled it, I mean, he's so respected amongst his peers, like we talk about. But the way he handled it and the emotion he showed the last couple of nights in Baltimore, something special.
Down low, and Omar Vizquel with the second free ride from Kevin Brown as we check in with Hannah Storm.
Thanks a lot, Tom. Let's get you caught up on the only division race in baseball in the National League West. Rockies hosting the Reds. Dante Bichette with a shot off Pete Shorrock. 430 feet, clears the grandstand, his 34th home run of the year to lead the National League. It is now 3-1 Rockies over the Reds. The Dodgers coming into the night trailed the Rockies by just a percentage point. They're at Pittsburgh, where their starter, Ramon Martinez, with a broken bat double in the 4th, drove in a couple of runs. He is also pitching a shutout right now. So behind Ramon Martinez offensively and defensively, the Dodgers lead the Pirates 6-0. Back to the Jake.
Thank you, Hannah. The Indians on top of the Orioles 3-1 at Jacobs Field. Nice stop by Chris Hoyles. as the National League Western Division has been a terrific race all season long, and the Colorado Rockies, what a story they are.
Only 3 years. I played in Toronto their first 3 years of existence. We lost 100 ball games each year. Very tough. It helped you as a younger player mature. I was traded after 3 years to the Yankees, but I mean, look at what Colorado's done in their third year.
Mike Flanagan, the pitching coach, will hold another conference with his battery.
And I think if you look at it, well, how can Colorado come so quick? Well, free agency is such a big part of baseball nowadays. And also, the Marlins and the Rockies had the advantage that the Blue Jays and the Mariners didn't have. They got to draft off of both leagues' rosters in the expansion draft.
That's right.
Big advantage. So you can come a lot quicker.
2-0 the count on Baerga, 1 for 2 tonight with a single. He leads the league in base hits now with 159. Two and 1 the count on Baerga. The Indians with a 3-1 lead. A win tonight. They wrap up the American League Central Division title. Should the Indians clinch tonight, this would be the earliest clinching by any team in the major leagues since divisional play began in '69. The old record, the Baltimore Orioles, who in '69 clinched on September 13th. Now the earliest clinchings period, regardless of division play, the Yankees of 1941.
Most games remaining to play. Cleveland still has 21 ball games to play.
Could be 2. With the runner going, Ripken in perfect position for the double play.
And I talked about positioning is so important for Cal. He knows the hitters so well. I mean, he's in just his perfect position, hit and run. He's also moving towards second base to cover. The positioning for Cal is so important. He knows the hitters, he knows his pitchers, what they're going to do off certain pitchers on his staff. He'll favor the hole, he'll favor up the middle. He seems like he's always in the right place at the right time.
2 down in the Cleveland 5th. The Indians with a 2-run lead. Albert Bell has walked and hit a smash back up the middle that Brown made the play on.
Albert Bell is one of the few hitters. Now, a lot of hitters are going to the open stance where their front foot is open. It clears up their eyes. Both eyes can focus on the pitcher. He's one of the few hitters, and he's so strong. He doesn't close back up. He steps away from the ball, but he's so strong he could still handle the ball away from him.
Played as a dead pull hitter to deep left. Brown gets behind 2-0.
And talking about how his front foot actually steps away from the plate. When you have an open stance like Baerga prior to him, Baerga likes to close back up, stride towards the pitcher. Albert actually strides away from the pitcher, but he's strong enough. And I mean, he is real strong enough to get away with it.
And he is in a hitter's count now and takes a strike.
Well, okay. Remember, like I said, he may be sitting on different pitches. Maybe he's looking, you know, remember the prior at bat he had, Brown pitched around him. Every time he was in a fastball count, threw him a breaking ball. Maybe Albert was sitting on the breaking ball that time.
3-1. He got the breaking ball there. Albert Bell in his first major league at bat got a single, knocking in a run off Nolan Ryan. And he's been making life miserable for pitchers ever since. 4 years in a row, 30-plus homers, 100-plus RBIs. And he walks for the second time. Third walk given up by Brown. And once again, Eddie Murray has a chance to do some damage with a base run. Murray has doubled in a run and rifled a 2-run single up the middle his last time up, 2 for 2. And now the outfield shifts around to the right and deep. just outside the bag at third for strike one.
He's laughing at that one. Very rarely do you see Eddie hit a ball down the third base line. He's getting a chuckle. He got jammed a little bit. He has a good time playing, and he's all business. He's all business. Not in the clubhouse. He's one of the guys, but on the field, he's business.
Eddie Murray needs now just 5 more RBIs, and it will mark 19 consecutive years with 75 RBIs or more. And that's a major league record. And that's in regards to from the start of a career, 19 years in a row with 75 RBIs or more.
And you think back to 1981 when we lost 54 ball games because of the strike.
Line to right, his third base hit tonight. So Eddie Murray 3 for 3 as Bell stops at second. Eddie Murray may take the lineup card out every night.
3 for 3. He's hit the ball hard each time. See how he just explodes on the baseball? Weight shift. Starts from a real good solid base, and that's his legs. You hit with your legs, not with your arms. And he has that strong base, sees the ball, reacts to it, and shifts the weight through the hitting area.
The Indians have out-hit the Orioles 6-2 and lead it 3-1 in the 5th. 2 down with runners at first and second, and Jim Thome twice has bounced out to the right side.
Thome really dares you if you're a pitcher to come inside. He stands right on top of the plate. And as a catcher, you see the outside corner. Now that outside corner becomes the middle of the hitting area for him. If you miss inside, make sure you miss inside. Don't leave it on the corner.
Fastball from Brown for strike one.
When he gets in his stance, his arms are right on the inside part of the plate, daring you as a pitcher to come inside.
Skied to shallow center. Goodwin now moving to left center as the wind pushes it that way, and Brown gets out of it. Here in the 5th, it's still 3-1, Cleveland on top.
What does it take to do this? 210 horsepower, standard ESP, all-speed traction control.
I'll take 2.
This is my last one.
Take it.
And a whole bunch of that blue stuff. Jeep Liberty and the all-new Jeep Compass, 2 in the growing line of Jeep vehicles.
How's business? Good.
In 1976, Jack Nicklaus created a tournament unlike any other. A tournament that is, in a word, perfect. The perfect drive, the perfect save, the perfect approach, the perfect finish. The Memorial. Golf at its purest.
Weekly patron badges valid May 28th through June 3rd for $155. Call 614-889-6712 or visit thememorialtournament.com.
Bruce Drennan has been a fixture in Cleveland sports for more than 35 years. He's controversial, opinionated, and Cleveland, Bruce is back.
Browns, Cavs, Indians, Buckeyes, you can bet that I'll have an opinion.
All bets are off. Get the inside skinny from a man who's a Cleveland sports icon.
Wait a minute, don't interrupt me now. Hold on here.
All bets are off. Today at 3 on STO.
I love you, Cleveland.
As a kid, my family moved around some, but no matter where we lived, baseball was always a big part of my life. Because of my dad, I grew up rooting for the Indians. I always hoped that if I worked hard, I might one day play in the major leagues. And when I joined the Indians, my dream came true.
How about that job by Jeremy Sowers?
This Sunday is Kids Opening Day at Jacobs Field. All kids receive a 2007 player calendar. Plus, kids run the bases after the game.
Share the dream.
The 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Orioles, who trailed the Indians 3-1 after 5. Oral Hershiser has thrown a 2-hitter, striking out 4, walking 3. And Goodwin, first ball swinging, bounces it to second. 1 pitch, 1 out. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent from the Office of the Commissioner. Goodwin now 1 for 3, and Rafael Palmeiro to the plate has walked and singled. As you get a look at sold-out Jacobs Field, the 40th consecutive sellout of over 42,000 fans.
Rafi's last at bat, I was talking about how he was so relaxed at the plate. I think you have to be relaxed but aggressive as a hitter. No tension in his swing.
Lazy fly there to left field that Bell will put away for out number 2.
You know, it sounds pretty easy, but so many young hitters want to come up and be tense. And I really think you're fighting yourself, and your muscles are showing, and you're too tense up there. Rafi's got the right idea. Just nice and relaxed, let the bat do the work, utilizes his legs in hitting to drive the ball.
Well, when Phil Regan talks about a disappointing offense, he excludes Rafael Palmeiro. A charge put into this one by Bonilla, lofted up against the wall to pull it down. Bonilla just missed from driving one out to dead center.
Now on DVD, it's MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Get ready for all the hits, misses, and some things we just can't explain. Jam-packed with pranks, practical jokes, and bloopers. Featuring your favorite stars from Major League Baseball. MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Now on DVD.
Look, this is pretty simple. You run a small business, so you don't need a huge, complicated banking program. Ohio Savings Business Banking Services were created especially for small businesses. Enjoy a 5% money market account, all tailored to your situation. It's everything you need. Small business banking from Ohio Savings Bank. Perfectly simple.
While other airlines are taking things away, Continental still offers things like pillows, blankets, and meals at mealtime. In other words, everything you should expect from an airline. Continental Airlines. Work hard, fly right.
Kevin Brown's had just the one bad inning, but it cost him 3 in the 3rd, and he works from behind now as we go to the bottom of the 6th, and Manny Ramirez fouls off the first offering. Ramirez 0 for 2. The Indians getting their 3 in the 3rd. The big hit, the 2-out 2-run single by Eddie Murray. Brown has not struck a batter out, has walked 3, giving up 6 hits. Fisted foul, nothing, and 2 the count on Ramirez. Manny Alexander, who left the ball game in the 4th inning, did strain his left groin on that ground ball, so his status, I'm sure, will be day to day, although the way he hobbled off, he may be out for some time.
Yeah, it didn't look too good. Couldn't put too much weight on his leg.
Ramirez lays off the hard stuff, a ball and 2 strikes.
I think you're looking at a superstar in the making. He's having a superstar year, young. I mean, this is just like a young stallion, still not broken in yet. He's just going to keep getting better and better. And you know what's great is that he's got veteran leadership on the bench with him. Can learn an awful lot from a Murray, a Winfield.
Well, 23 years of age, 2nd year in the major leagues, and Manny Ramirez with 31 homers, 98 RBIs, and batting .318. The question with Manny will be, as he tried to get out of the way of that high tight pitch and tapped it back to the mound, the question with Manny will be, how good does he want to be? Paul Sorrento for 2. And I guess that's the case, Rick, not only with Manny Ramirez, but any good young player. If you've got the tools, the rest is really up to you. Cal Ripken, the perfect example.
Well, I think a lot comes down to, are you willing to make the sacrifices it takes to stay there and be consistent over your career and work at it? When you have guys that have been around 10, 12, 15 years, if they show up on time, they're working hard in the weight room and in the batting cages, I think it rubs off on younger players. A manager can only do so much. You don't have to school him as a manager. Hargrove's lucky. He's got Winfield. He's got Murray. He's got guys in there. And then on the pitching staff, he's got a Martinez, Dennis Martinez, and Oral Hershiser. It's a perfect blend of talent.
Palmero's been a busy man tonight at first base as he makes that play unassisted. 2 down.
You know, if you're an Indians fan, you start looking ahead now. Tonight's the big night. If they win, they clinch. But there's still a lot of unsolved business. Remember back to 1954, the Indians had the best team in baseball, winning 111 ball games. They got swept in the World Series by the Giants. So there's a lot of unfinished business, and I think that's what's keeping these players focused.
Good sinker there by Kevin Brown. 2 down, 3-1 Cleveland in the 6th. Of course, most of the Indians weren't even born in '54. In fact, all of them, with the exception of the coaching staff. Willie Mays made a pretty good play in that series. And with the extra round of the playoffs, Sparky Anderson was talking about it last week in Detroit. As Brown delivers, he doesn't feel there's any question that Cleveland has the best team in the American League. And he goes, I don't care what they do in the playoffs. That will not take away in his mind from what the Indians have been able to accomplish here during the season. But he goes, you get in the playoffs and it's who's hot and who gets a couple of breaks.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We won 103 ball games for the Yankees in 1980. We got swept by the Kansas City Royals. It was their turn.
And this year, with the playoffs set up and the extra round of playoffs, no advantage for the Indians in that they have the best record in baseball and don't have the home field advantage.
You would think they would have some kind of seeding order. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And another strong inning for Kevin Brown as Barbary makes the play. We'll return with Baseball Night in America, the Baltimore Orioles and the Cleveland Indians after this from your local station.
Enter the cage and feel the raw power and non-stop fury of Ohio Fight Fest. Experience your hometown fighters as they battle in the ultimate test of will. Witness the devastating punishment of no-holds-barred combat. It's survival of the toughest. Saturday at midnight and Sunday at 9, only on Sports Time Ohio.
Sports Time Ohio recognizes Tom Baddock and Chuck Ayers. These Akron natives touch the lives of millions of people every day through their nationally syndicated Crankshaft comic strip. Their Ed Crankshaft character occasionally reminisces about his days as a pitcher for the Toledo Mud Hens. The present-day Crankshaft is a big fan of the Cleveland Indians, sometimes with comic strip consequences. Tom Baddock and Chuck Ayers, the pride of Ohio.
Bold, aggressive styling. Incredibly precise handling. Electronic stability program. 5-speed auto stick transmission. Dodge Charger SXT. It has the power to make anyone emotional.
Once you drive to the airport, shouldn't you be at the airport? Well, you'd think so. So next time, fly out to Akron-Canton instead. With shorter lines, less congestion, and closer parking right outside the terminal. The Akron-Canton Airport. a better way to go. Visit our website to see all the reasons why.
6 innings in the books with the Indians still on top of the Orioles 3-1. The Indians' magic number is 1. They clinch it with a win tonight. As Cal Ripken 0 for 2 will lead off against Orel Hershiser. Indians with that infield shift on by Baerga almost directly in back of second. Phil Regan, the Oriole manager, saying tonight before the game he played on the '66 Dodger team that won the pennant on the final day, then won the World Series. And he said Wednesday night in Baltimore tops that as his best moment ever in baseball. And Phil Regan played a key role on that '66 Dodger team where he earned the nickname the Vulture from Sandy Koufax. Koufax says, I pitched 10-11 shutout innings. You come in and get the win. Hit in the air to fairly deep right center, but plenty of room out there as Lofton makes the catch next to Ramirez. Now it's time for tonight's Lexus Diamond Dust Baseball Fact. Cal Ripken has 322 home runs and 1,231 RBIs during his consecutive game streak. Who is the only player in the majors with more home runs and RBIs over that span? We'll give you the answer in the bottom half of this inning, so it gives you a little while to think about that. Harold Baines 0 for 2.
Do you have a guess? I was going to say maybe Winfield or Dawson
or Murray.
Yep.
I mean, those are 3 pretty good guesses.
And I'm probably
surrounded it.
I'm probably wrong on all 3. Aren't they supposed to give the announcers the answer prior to make us look smarter?
Probably realize we're dumb enough to read it before anyone's had a chance to think about it.
Now, how about Harold Baines? I mean, has ever an active player had his number retired for another organization? The White Sox retired his number already.
Down the left field line, this is trouble. It'll go all the way to the wall, and Harold Baines is on his way to second with an opposite field double. He rarely goes that way, but he has his 14th two-bagger of the season.
Well, earlier I talked about he stands far away from the plate, goes into the ball. Look at, and I said he handles the ball away. Now, I mean, that's tough to do. He just uses a long bat, 35 inches. And over his career, he's been consistent, driving in the runs. I mean, it's tough to handle a ball when you stand that far away from the plate. That ball was a good pitch from Hershiser, off the plate away, and still Baines was able to reach it and drive it hard the opposite way.
Now the tying run at the plate in Chris Hoyles as left-hander Paul Assenmacher begins to throw in the Indians bullpen. Hoyles very capable of tying this game with one swing of the bat, as he has 5 home runs over the last 2 weeks. Hershiser has been very consistent tonight, although in the 6th inning he really caught a break with 4 pitches to get out of that inning. And Hershiser this year averaging 6 innings per start. The Indians have noticed he gets up around 100 pitches or so, a little more than that. He starts to lose some of his stuff, and I think that's partly, Rick, when you're 36 years old, that's to be expected.
Yeah, and also they're not going to push him because the bullpen's been so successful this year. Our opening tonight, we talked about 62-4 with the lead after 6. Tonight they have a lead after 6. Hopefully that'll stand up.
Hoyles an excuse me swing, 1-2 the count. Well, Orel Hershiser, the guy that went to college at Bowling Green because nobody else would offer him a scholarship, didn't pitch much his first 2 years, finally got a little bigger and pitched as a junior, 17th round pick by the Dodgers, and then had a season in '88 that's second to none in Major League history. He misses inside, 2-2 the count. As Paul Assenmacher and Julian Tavares heat up.
Yeah, I mean, Hargrove is blessed. He's got 3 righties, 3 lefties down there. He can make the moves. Plunk has been unhittable. Tavares has done a great job. And you know, really, that's the toughest job for a manager, bridging the gap between the starter and the closer. That's why the Indians are dominating this year.
Got him. 5th strikeout for Hershiser. That may have been the split finger right there. Two down in the 7th inning, still 3-1 Cleveland.
Great location. Looked like it started around the plate, tempted the hitter, the split finger, and then it goes away. I mean, a hitter sees it. It looks like a good pitch to hit. He reacts to where he thinks it's going to be. Next thing you know, it almost bounced in the dirt.
Here's Jeff Houston, has lined out and walked. Baines, the runner at second with 2 down, and the Orioles down 2 in the 7th. Houston not a threat to take you deep. He does not have a home run this season, and did not play in the major leagues last year. All of the season spent in Oklahoma City, the Texas Rangers AAA club.
If you're wondering about Phil Reagan's bench, he had Kevin Bass, but he's been hampered with a little injury. Might be up in this situation. Guy capable of going deep to tie up the ball game. The other switch hitter he has on the bench is Greg Zahn, Rick Dempsey's nephew.
That's
backup
right.
Catcher for the Orioles.
A ball and a strike on Houston.
You don't get many opportunities late in the ball game against the Indians. This is their big opportunity.
A ball and 2 strikes on the third baseman.
Good moving fastball. The sinker away. It starts out over the middle of the plate and then moves away. The only thing you're wondering, I know, if they tie up the ball game, they keep Harold Baines in the lineup, but very slow runner at second base. He has to get a big jump to score on a base hit.
And the outfield is shallow, but this ball's inside the first base and down into the right field corner. And that'll score a run as Houston, with a 2-strike double down the right field line, makes it a 3-2 ball game with just his 10th RBI of the year and just his 2nd extra base hit of the season.
Nice job of hitting. This ball's on the ground. Good low ball hitter. Keeps it fair. Did not hook the ball. It stayed fair inside the first base bag. I mentioned about Baines not being able to score in a single. Well, on a double he'll score. He's scored many times before.
Brett Barbary, the switch hitter, due next. Mike Hargrove to the mound, and this usually signals a pitching change. The Indians' lead has been shaved to 1. Barbary, we mentioned the switch hitter, but he's a much better hitter left-handed, so Mike Hargrove may bring on the southpaw Paul Ossenmacher and turn around Barbary and make him either hit right-handed or make Phil Regan go to his bench. So that's all for Hershiser. Another solid outing as he looks for his 13th win and leaves with a 3-2 lead with 2 down in the top of the 7th. Another solid outing for Oro Hershiser as he went 6 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 5. He can win it. He cannot lose it. The tying run at second is his responsibility as Paul Ossenmacher comes on. The steady left-hander with an earned run average now of 2.32, making his 40th appearance, a record of 6 wins, 2 defeats. And Ossenmacher, the guy that came out of college, was a non-drafted free agent. He said the reason was nobody knew where Aquinas College was in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
And he's always had that good curveball. That curveball, it just keeps biting. Right-hand hitters see it. Starts about the belt high, middle of the plate. Next thing you know, it's out of the strike zone. And the real good breaking balls usually are out of the strike zone.
Indians with the best bullpen in the American League by a lot. It's not only Jose Mesa, as you mentioned, it's the setup people like Paul Ossenmacher, who features the fastball, the curve, and the change. And Brett Barbary will bat, switch hitter, who has really struggled from the right side this year, batting 164 right-handed, 287 left-handed. That's why Mike Hargrove went to the southpaw. And of course he's in there due to Manny Alexander with a strained groin. 3-2, Tribe on top of the Orioles, top of the 7th, 2 down, the tying run at second. Curveball hit in the air to center, and Ossenmacher gets the 1 out. And Hershiser still has a chance to win his 13th, as it's still a 3-2 ball game in the middle of the 7th.
Bruce Drennan has been a fixture in Cleveland sports for more than 35 years. He's controversial, opinionated, and Cleveland, Bruce is back.
Browns, Cavs, Indians, Buckeyes, you can bet that I'll have an opinion.
All bets are off. Get the inside skinny from a man who's a Cleveland sports icon.
Wait a minute, don't interrupt me now. Hold on here.
All bets are off. Today at 3 on STO.
I love you, Cleveland.
Sports Time Ohio recognizes Bob Manry. In 1965, this copy editor for the Cleveland Plain Dealer startled the world by piloting his minuscule sailboat, the Tinkerbell, across the Atlantic Ocean. People feared the worst when ships and planes could not spot the tiny craft. But the gutsy Manry arrived in England 78 grueling days after leaving America. Manry's Tinkerbell was the smallest boat ever to cross the Atlantic. Bob Manry, the pride of Ohio.
Look, this is pretty simple. You run a small business, so you don't need a huge, complicated banking program. Ohio Savings Business Banking Services were created especially for small businesses. Enjoy a 5% money market account, all tailored to your situation. It's everything you need. Small business banking from Ohio Savings Bank. Perfectly simple.
With features like remote power liftgate, remote engine starter, rear backup camera and navigation system. In Jeep Commander or Jeep Grand Cherokee, you can escape to the wilderness. And when necessary, you can escape from it.
Indians lead the Orioles 3-2 going to the bottom of the 7th. But first, Hannah Storm with a National League update. The Mets' Bobby Jones taking a no-hitter to the top of the 7th in Montreal tonight. But first batter, first pitch, Sean Berry with a single up the middle to break up the no-hitter. There has never been a no-hitter in the history of the New York Mets, and there won't be one tonight, although we still got the shutout going. It's 4-0. Cincinnati at Colorado, Jeff Branson on third, Barry Larkin at the plate, and Steve Reed called for a ball on his move to third, dipped his shoulder, so Branson is sent home with a go-ahead run to make it 4-3 Cincinnati. So we have seen both ends of the pitching spectrum tonight. Let's send it back to the Jake.
Thank you, Hannah. A terrific play by Ripken to take a hit away from Kenny Lofton to start the bottom of the 7th.
If you're out of position there, that's a base hit, maybe even a double with Lofton's speed. He just knows the hitters, knows where to play. It's so important.
Omar Vizquel has bounced out, hit a sac fly, and walked. That sac fly driving in the Indians' first run in the 3rd. Eddie Murray then with a 2-run single. 3-2 Cleveland, bottom of the 7th, as they try to wrap up the Central Division title with a win here tonight. 2-0 now, the count on Vizquel. Kevin Brown, minus the 3rd inning, has pitched a beauty.
Omar's having a great year producing runs. 6 home runs, 46 RBIs, career highs coming into tonight.
He's like a 100 RBI man. He knocks in 50, saves 50.
Exactly. And the outfield, actually, Brady Anderson's playing very shallow. Omar, if he has power, it's pull power. Means he has to get out in front and pull it. Brady shading him close to the line.
And he walks for the 2nd time tonight, the 4th walk given up by Brown. Well, here's tonight's Lexus Diamond Dust answer. Who is the only player in the majors with more home runs and RBIs over the span that Cal Ripken has had his consecutive game streak covering 13 years? Well, it's his good friend and former teammate, Eddie Murray. 335 home runs, 1,309 RBIs when you add the 2 he had tonight.
Did we mention it? We mentioned Eddie Murray.
Yep. Along with Dave Winfield, Andre Dawson, and a host of others. Yeah, I think we got it. A little looping liner into shallow left center that Ripken pulls down.
Well, this has been the story of Kevin Brown's season. Coming into tonight, 7-8. Hard luck, 3.92 ERA. Very good strikeout to walk ratio for the year. And still on the end of another loss. You have to be lucky. You have to pitch on the right days, right, Tom? Pitch on the right days when the team's going to score a lot of runs.
That does help. But he got himself into trouble, though, in that third when he walked Bell and then pitched from behind Eddie Murray and got burned. Now Albert Bell 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Vizquel, the runner at first, 2 down in the 7th, 3-2 Cleveland. Tonight marks just the 15th time this year that the Indians have had their complete lineup together. Rather scary thought when you consider they've won 85 games. As it's out of play down the right side for strike 1.
And you would say because Sandy Alomar's missed most of the year, a good part of the year.
And Eddie Murray out for the month with the broken ribs. Kenny Lofton was on the DL.
Nice job of managing. You have the players, you put them out there. They performed well. Yeah, Charlie Manuel, the hitting instructor, said, "Charlie, how is it working with this team?" He says, "I just stay out of their way." He said, "This is a machine, an offensive machine." He says, "Every once in a while I have to tinker here and there." He says, "But these guys pretty much know what they're doing and what they're capable of doing." That's what he talked about. He said they don't try to force the issue. They stay within themselves and take advantage of how a pitcher is going to pitch them that night.
Another slider evens the count at 1-1. Albert Bell has one of the most intense stares that any pitcher will get a look at. Brown very cognizant of Vizquel, who has 25 stolen bases. Although you do not see the Indians run much with Albert Bell at the plate.
Biggest thing as a pitcher, you want to make sure you stop the runner at first base. Don't let him get a running start.
A ball and 2 strikes on Bell.
Very intense. I mean, really studies the game of hitting. Makes little notes, keeps a little book on pitchers and how they're going to pitch them. Not typical from your everyday slugger. He goes about it. He's a professional hitter.
3rd in the league in voting last year for MVP behind Frank Thomas and Ken Griffey Jr. He'll be among the top vote getters this year. Off the end of the bat on the right side, and Brown can't come up with it. Oh, he had an easy out. And will that cost Kevin Brown? We will soon see, because you'll have to face Eddie Murray again. And all Murray has done is bang out 3 hits. Brown tried to make the tag before he had the ball.
Hits the ball off the end of the bat. Now Brown is rushing. He takes his eye off the baseball. Rather than just pick it and toss it to first base, he was thinking about, in one motion, picking the ball off the ground and tagging Albert Bell. Little slider on the outside part of the plate. Just a routine play, but he takes his eye off the ball, trying to tag Albert Bell.
And he will not face Eddie Murray because Phil Regan calls for the left-hander, and Kevin Brown just flipped the ball in the air to Phil Regan, as Brown very upset with himself for not coming up with that number off the end of Bell's bat. The Indians with runners at first and second, 2 down on top, 3-2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And next Friday night in primetime at 8 p.m. Eastern, join NBC Sports as the playoff races heat up on Baseball Night in America. Most of you will see a battle of 2 teams fighting for the American League wild card spot. The Yankees take on these same Orioles. Some of you will see division leaders meet as Boston takes on the Indians. Others will see the Braves play the Reds or the Astros visit Montreal. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Well, Phil Regan wants to turn Eddie Murray around, so he'll bring in the southpaw. Eddie Murray tonight 3 for 3 with 2 singles, a double, and 2 runs batted in, as Murray doing all of his damage left-handed. And left-hander Mark Lee will come on for the Baltimore Orioles. Started the year at Rochester. The 31-year-old lefty, 6'3", 215 pounds, features the fastball, the slider, and the changeup. And this appearance for Mark Lee will be his 33rd, a record of 1-0, 1 save, ERA of 4.80.
And nowadays, when you describe a pitcher, you talk about 2 types of fastball: the 2-seam, the 4-seam. And for people out there, the 2-seamer will give you a little more of a sinking action, might move away from a right-hand hitter in Lee's case, whereas a 4-seam, where you're using all 4 seams of the baseball, more of your true straight fastball, riding type fastball.
I'll tell you what, when Phil Regan left the mound and headed to his dugout, he marched in a hurry toward the tunnel leading up to the clubhouse. I don't know if he was going after Kevin Brown or not, but Brown flipped him the baseball on the mound, and no manager appreciates that.
Yeah, I don't know if Kevin Brown's showing up as manager in that spot. I don't think so. I think it was frustration.
More upset with himself?
Yeah, on his own part. But, you know, for a manager, he's got to find out right away. Hey, did he show me up? Let me straighten this right out. And you're right, he did. He paced in there. But I guarantee, I mean, we assume up here, but to me, it was more out of his own frustration.
Kevin Brown just upset he couldn't come up with that Bell number, because early you look at Kevin Brown tonight, and he pitched well enough to win as he goes 6 2/3 innings. He allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. He walked 4, didn't strike anybody out. He hit a batter. He is responsible for the 2 runners that are on base now here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And for Kevin Brown, it's been that type of season. Pitch well enough to win and not get a W.
Well, and Phil Regan is also talking about the Orioles have played tough this year. He said, despite all the injuries, we've been in every ball game.
Yep.
We have 29 games that we've lost by 1 or 2 runs. Now, you take half of those, and now it's a season like they anticipate.
You betcha.
Right near the top.
Murray will bat right-handed. His numbers much lower from the right side this year. Line to left field. Anderson got a good break on it, makes the running catch. Murray hit a bullet, but right at Anderson. So Mark Lee gets out of the jam. We go to the 8th. It's still a 1-run game.
Now on DVD, it's MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Get ready for all the hits, misses, and some things we just can't explain. Jam-packed with pranks, practical jokes, and bloopers. Featuring your favorite stars from Major League Baseball. MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Now on DVD.
Hi, I'm David DeLucia of the Cleveland Indians. Pull together for a good cause and help strike out diabetes by participating in the Verizon Wireless Swim for Diabetes. Get your free ticket to the May 19th Indians game by raising pledges. All money raised from the event stays in this community to help the 1 in 14 people with diabetes. Call the Diabetes Association of Greater Cleveland at 216-591-0800. So dive right in and make a difference.
Sports Time Ohio recognizes the Bossard family. The Bossards worked as groundskeepers for the Indians for over 50 years, keeping the turf at Cleveland Stadium in tip-top shape. First it was Emil in the 1930s, then his sons Marshall and Harold. Besides maintaining the beautiful grass, the Bossards were adept at building a few tricks into the field that would favor the home team. Some descendants are currently manicuring ballparks all over the country. The Bossards, the pride of Ohio.
Introducing more horsepower than Accord or Camry. Introducing 32 highway miles per gallon. Introducing standard side curtain airbags. Introducing a price that's over $1,000 less than Accord or Camry. The all-new Chrysler Sebring. So many new features, formal introductions were in order. The all-new Chrysler Sebring, starting at $18,995. Discover America's hottest products at your Chrysler dealer.
7 innings have been completed at sold-out Jacobs Field. The Indians hoping to celebrate, the Orioles hoping to spoil the party. Paul Assenmacher, who got the final out in the 7th, will face Brady Anderson. Kevin Bass has come on deck to hit for Curtis Goodwin. Anderson tonight 0 for 3. In the Indians bullpen, they have double barrel activity as the right-hander Julian Tavares continues to throw. As Anderson takes ball 2, it's down low. The Indians also have the left-hander Alan Embry loosening up. And the last thing you want to do is walk the potential tying run to start the inning.
Brady will make him throw a strike in this situation, leading off the inning. Maybe 2 strikes. A good leadoff hitter. Make him work the count. Work the pitcher. Try to get on base. That's his job in this situation.
Popped up. Shallow right center. Baerga calls for it. And Assenmacher, after falling behind 3-0, retires Anderson. That's a very big out.
3-1 fastball. Ball says here, try to hit it. Brady just pulls off the ball a little bit. See how his front side leaves just a little bit too soon. That's what I mean, it's just a slight difference from hitting a ball on the nose hard and popping it up.
Now Kevin Bass, a switch hitter, will come on to bat for Curtis Goodwin. Bass this year batting .243, 4 homers, 28 runs batted in. Looks at a breaking ball for strike 1. As a pinch hitter, Bass has been very productive. 8 for 25 with 7 runs batted in. He's always been a good pinch hitter. Some big years with Houston, San Francisco, but now he's down in the count. 0-2.
Most pinch hits in a career. Kevin Bass, 79. You know, it takes a special person to be able to do that.
That one's lined sharply up the alley. Can Bell cut it off? He does. Bass a long single, but he got it on an 0-2 pitch. So Kevin Bass with his 9th pinch hit of this season, and he represents the tying run.
Talked about how it takes a special person to be able to come up late in the ball game. Usually you're facing the toughest pitchers on their staff, the closers, the setup men. But nowadays with the modern facilities, you have little batting tees in the runways down by the dugout, you know, inside the dugout, the runways, and you're working, you're getting yourself ready. You'll almost become a manager. You start thinking along with your manager. Well, I'm going to be pinch hitting maybe in this situation. Here you see the pinch runner coming out.
Jarvis Brown.
He's running for Baltimore, number 32, Jarvis Brown.
Jarvis Brown playing in just his 7th game with the Orioles. Caught stealing the only time he's attempted. Lefty against lefty as Palmeiro at the plate, 1 for 2 with a single. And a strike on the fastball. Cleveland leading it 3-2, 8th inning. The Indians 5 outs away from the Central Division title.
Palmeiro will not give in against Assenmacher. He'll look for the breaking ball, try to take it to left center field or back through the box, not try to pull off the ball.
The breaking ball there evens the count at 1-1. Lifetime Rafael Palmeiro just 2 for 11 against Assenmacher. High in the air down the left field line. Will Bell run out of room? He does. A ball and 2 strikes on Palmeiro.
Some good hitters like Palmeiro, what he'll do is he'll actually give the pitcher the inside part of the plate. Move off the plate inside a little bit, look for the ball away, and try to take it to left center field.
Only Paul Molitor and Kirby Puckett have more hits than Palmeiro in this decade.
Little courtesy throw to first base. Assenmacher wants to just make sure he's there. Keep looking at him. Don't let him get a walking lead and steal that base, get himself in scoring position.
Palmeiro just did get a piece of it to stay alive at a ball and 2 strikes. What a draft he was a part of in '85. Will Clark, Bobby Witt, Barry Larkin, Barry Bonds. And he drives it to deep center. Lofton breaks back on it and puts it away. 2 down. And now Bobby Bonilla, who the last time up put Lofton up against the wall in dead center. He'll turn around and bat right-handed, or will he? As Mike Hargrove pops out of the dugout. He has the right-hander Tavares ready, and that's whom he wants. So another pitching change. Bobby Bonilla, a switch hitter with good power from both sides of the plate.
Yeah, this is, I mean, Hargrove's got the advantage. He's got the chess moves all lined up. He knows exactly what he wants to do in the course of a ball game. You know, managers have game plans. I'd love to get Orioles 6 innings. Now go to my Assenmacher. Use Tavares to get me to Jose Mason. And Tavares, I mean, set the Cleveland Indians record, 9 wins out of the bullpen.
And he is just a rookie. Julian Tavares doesn't get mentioned a lot when people talk about rookies of the year in the American League, but he's had a dynamite rookie season, as you see his numbers. Tavares, another of the youngsters on this Indians ball club, just 22 years old, 6'2", 165. He really blossomed this year when he spent the winter in Cleveland and learned how to speak English, taking English classes. And Julian Tavares says it has made him a much more confident person, both off the field and on the mound. He said it's amazing how much better you feel about yourself when you know what people are saying. I guess we take it for granted in this country, but Tavares relaying that story. His first year in pro ball, he knew one word in English, that was chicken, and he had it 3 times a day for 7 months.
No, you know, and I guess the American players never really understood the Latin players at first when they came over. But I mean, when I was a younger player, I went to winter baseball for 3 years. Played in Puerto Rico, played in Venezuela, where in Venezuela there was no English. It was very difficult. You learned in a hurry how to try to communicate so you can eat. Papa fritas, I remember that was French fries. But I mean, and we never really, as American players, never really understood the problems that the Latin players had to, you know, handle when they came over here.
Well, he has handled them, and next year in all likelihood will be in the Indians rotation. Cleveland feels this year they were able to do much like the great Baltimore teams of the past did, and that is bring up a Scotty McGregor, bring up a Dennis Martinez, and break him in through the bullpen. Don't throw him into the rotation. Let him have some success, and then get him ready to become a starter next year. It's worked for Baltimore down through the years when they've had those great pitching staffs in the deep farm system, and the Indians able to do it this year. You can see the nerves are really starting to tighten in anticipation of a celebration.
As two of my teammates, Winfield and Kenny Hill. That was one of the big moves they made from St. Louis, getting Kenny Hill over here. He's 2-0. Struggled a little bit, but I think in the playoffs, look forward to him. He's a competitor.
Bobby Bonilla tonight 0 for 3, but twice has hit the ball deep in the outfield. Baltimore trailing 3-2. The tying run at first in Jarvis Brown with 2 down in the 8th. Bonilla this year has slugged 24 homers between the Mets and the Orioles. He didn't like that call, but it evens the count.
Bonilla does a very interesting move at the plate. He lifts that front foot, almost balances his entire body on the back leg. What that does, that gives you, like I talked about before, the good base to help you to drive the ball right through. And there you see what happens, Tom, is that Once you get started now, the front leg is up. Now see, he's starting to commit himself. Okay, I think it's great on fastballs. You can cheat like that. The off-speed pitches, and you saw Bobby swinging a little bad breaking ball. You're really geared up to hit the fastball from that stance.
1-2 the count. Tavares has a good sinker, good slider, good split finger. His ball really moves. Paul Molitor said he's as difficult to pick up as anyone he faces here in the American League. Got him. So Tavares and the bullpen continue to shine. The middle of the 8th, it remains a 1-run Cleveland lead.
Remember how it felt the last time you flew out of that big airport? So next time, why not fly out of Akron Canton instead, with nearby parking, shorter lines, less crowds and confusion? The Akron Canton Airport, a better way to go. Visit our website to see all the reasons why.
About every 3 minutes, someone buys a new tire at Conrad's. And overall, 80% of our purchases come from repeat customers. They know that nobody beats Conrad's discount tire prices, or we double the difference back. And we guarantee 4 tires installed in 30 minutes. Right now, it's our employee pricing sale. Save 20% on select Goodyear, Kelly, Dunlop, and BF Goodrich tires. Discount tire prices, 30-minute installation, only at Conrad's.
Wow, $10.
You better put that in a safe place.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Hey, put that in a safe place, okay?
With its 5-star front and side impact crash test ratings, the Dodge Grand Caravan is a great place for all your precious cargo.
Sports Time Ohio's in the Windy City, bringing you the Indians opening series with Chicago. Catch Travis Hafner and the Tribe as they look to take the best of 3 in Chi-Town. Indians versus White Sox. Wednesday at 2, only on STO.
Bottom of the 8th inning, the Indians would love some insurance runs, a 3-2 ball game. With the left-hander Mark Lee staying on the mound and still in the ball game now, taking over in center field is Jarvis Brown.
Mark Lee needs to just 1-2-3, give the Birds a chance to come back in the 9th. Maybe off of Jose Mesa, looking for his 40th save.
It will be Jose Mesa. You can count on that. Tomey, 2 groundouts, a fly out, and he's down in the count, 0-2.
Tomey's really made a big improvement off left-handed pitching this year. Last year he struggled. His first year up in the big leagues, struggling against left-handers. This year he's made the adjustment. Last year he just hit 167 against lefties. This year, 287.
Big improvement.
Big improvement. And I think that just comes with facing him more often.
A ball and 2 strikes on Tomey. 3 runs on 6 hits for Cleveland, 2 runs on 5 hits for Baltimore. Strike 3 call.
You can see what happens to Tomey from the home. His body starts pulling out, loses sight on the outside part of the plate. Really had a good look at it. Tries to hold up his swing, but it was a nasty pitch on the outside part of the plate.
So Mark Lee does his job, working 2/3 of a scoreless inning. And Phil Regan wants the right-hander to face the right-handed hitting Manny Ramirez. The Indians on top, 3-2, 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning. And Manny Ramirez due next. Armando Benitez comes on in the bottom of the 8th inning with 1 out and the bases empty. Young man throws the ball in the mid-90s, fastball, slider, been back and forth several times between the minor leagues in Baltimore this year. He's a big kid at 6'4", 220, 22 years old. He's just been plagued by wildness, Rick.
Yeah, actually, that's the only problem. 34 walks in 46 innings. His hits are very good, only allowing 35 hits, 65 strikeouts. So, I mean, really, you just have to harness it in the strike zone. It's all right to be a little wild, Tom. You know, wild high, wild off the plate. But if it starts leading to a lot of walks, like in this case, 37, well, now you've compounded. Instead of giving up 1 base runner an inning, you're having 2 base runners.
Phil Regan says, I'd love to see the Cleveland Indians win the Central Division tonight. But he goes, I want them to win it with us being Baltimore, beating them in Kansas City, losing in Seattle.
I know that feeling. That happened to me right here in this.
A slider for strike 1 to Ramirez.
Right in this city, 1988 with the Red Sox. We needed to win the ball game. We lost. We went to bed. And the team in second place lost on the West Coast. Never got a chance to celebrate.
Strike 2 to Manny Ramirez. Ramirez looking for the hard stuff. Got a couple of breaking balls.
They say, what's going on with that scouting report? This guy throws 95, 96. Throw me 2 breaking balls.
And a third. A ball and 2 strikes on Ramirez. 0 for 3 tonight, yet to get the ball out of the infield.
He steps out of the box, regroups. Okay. Don't go by that scouting report this time. This guy's throwing me breaking balls. Yeah, they know you can hammer that fastball.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Ramirez. Indians with a 1-run lead. They did all of their scoring, getting 3 in the 3rd. Baltimore getting 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th. Benitez heating up in a hurry.
We'll see some more heat in the top of the 9th from Jose Mesa, right around that same mark.
Still 2-2. Benitez out of the Dominican Republic. In his career, most of it spent in the minor leagues, he has averaged 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. This is 5th pro season. One problem he's finding in the major leagues, some of those pitches they swing at down below, they don't swing at this level. Hammered to deep left center. Way back, and it is caught on the track by Anderson. And the wind seemed to have knocked that down a bit.
Looked like Ramirez got all of it, and it just didn't carry. Sometimes the big swing, he can get the ball towards the end of the bat. And actually, if you see where he makes contact, it's towards the trademark. So even though the big swing, initially it jumped off the bat, he did not get it on the sweet part of the bat.
And Anderson runs it down in left center. 2 down for Sorrento, 0 for 3. Indians with a 1-run lead, bottom of the 8th inning. Jose Mesa continuing to throw in the Indians' pen. He is ready now. He's been throwing all this inning, and he will try to add to his story.
Yeah, with Jose Mesa, the only team that's had any success against him has been the Detroit Tigers.
Yep.
Both his blown saves come against the Tigers.
And for him, he has a chance to be on the mound tonight when the Indians clinch it against his former team. The Orioles traded Mesa to the Indians for an infielder by the name of Kyle Washington. One of the best trades for the Indians this decade. Popped up. Ripken calling, and we'll go to the 9th. The Indians 3 outs away from a nighttime party in downtown Cleveland.
Now on DVD, it's MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Get ready for all the hits, misses, and some things we just can't explain. Jam-packed with pranks, practical jokes, and bloopers. Featuring your favorite stars from Major League Baseball. MLB Bloopers, the funny side of baseball. Now on DVD.
See, I programmed the HomeLink system today.
Me too.
Really?
A HomeLink system that controls up to 3 remote devices.
Just what does your button do?
The Chrysler Town & Country.
Honey?
Full of so many available features, it may take you a while to discover them all.
As a kid, I always enjoyed being outside and playing sports, especially baseball. From a young age, I knew I wanted to try and play Major League Baseball, and I hoped that if I dedicated myself to my dreams, that one day I could make it to the big leagues. Life is about building upon your experiences, and experience is the key to being successful.
8 strikeouts for Cliff Lee.
Celebrate opening weekend this Saturday with the first post-game fireworks show of the season. All fans receive a 2007 magnet schedule from Giant Eagle.
It's all about the experience.
What is up, Chad?
Get in the van.
All right, listen up, bro. My circle's gotta go.
Why? Being able to choose the people you call for free no matter what network they're on is great. Now we can all be friends.
I don't want to be friends, so knock it off.
Okay.
We'll have to do stuff.
Like what?
Pinch him, do it. Come on, man.
Ow. You just pinched me?
Big time. More where that came from.
It's time to get what you want from your wireless company. To find out more, take the head-to-head challenge.
In 1976, Jack Nicklaus created a tournament unlike any other. A tournament that is, in a word, perfect. The perfect drive, the perfect save, the perfect approach, the perfect finish. The Memorial. Golf at its purest.
Weekly patron badges valid May 28th through June 3rd for $155. Call 614-889-6712 or visit thememorialtournament.com.
What's up,
It's Jose Mesa time as Senior Slam has come on for the 54th time, looking for his 40th save. A record of 3-0, an earned run average of 1.29. And Cal Ripken Jr. leads off the top of the ninth.
And now the crowd is getting into it. 41 years.
Jose Mesa, the reason this ball club is in this position. Last year, the Indians' top save man had 5. Mesa had never been a closer before. They experimented in spring. They gave him the job on opening day, and he's been there ever since. To short, to Vizquel. 2 outs away.
Everybody in the stadium on their feet. Biggest thing with Jose right now, you got to collect yourselves. Stay the same way you've been the entire season. I know there's a little extra adrenaline going because of clinching, also against your former team that traded you. Just try to stay within yourself.
Baines 1 for 3 with a double. Mesa primarily fastball slider. He'll throw the 2-seamer for the sinking action, but primarily the 4-seam fastball, and that was one of them at 98 miles an hour. Popped out of play left side. A ball and a strike to Baines, who is very capable of tying this game with one swing of the bat. Baines with 20 home runs.
Just want to keep the ball away from Baines. Make him beat you away if you have to.
In the air to right field. The new right fielder, Wayne Kirby, replacing Manny Ramirez. Squeezes it for out number 2. The Indians 1 out away from the clincher. Chris Hoyles is all that stands between Jose Mesa and the Cleveland Indians from ending 41 years of frustration and heartache. 3-2 Cleveland, 2 down in the ninth. Hoyles tonight 0 for 3, has struck out twice. Count on Chris Hoyles. 2 down, top of the ninth inning. Cleveland 3, Baltimore 2. The Indians' magic number, 1 out. 3-0 the count. Count. Hoyles takes a strike with Jeff Houston waiting on deck.
Hoyles, great triple hitter. I know Mesa's throwing at 98 miles an hour. You just don't want to give this guy a little cookie down the middle of the plate. Go ahead and make a good pitch. If you miss him, he's only on first base.
And the walk puts the tying run at first with 2 down. And Jeff Houston will come to the plate. Tonight, Houston has lined a bullet to first, has walked and doubled in a run. And another pinch runner now for the Baltimore Orioles. Jeffrey Hammond's now running at first for Chris Hoyles, who drew the 2-out walk. 3-2, the Indians on top of the Orioles. 2 down in the ninth. Out of play to the left, strike 1.
It would not surprise me to see Phil Regan put the runner in motion. Mesa's a little slow to the plate. You hate to end the ball game getting thrown out of second base, but your chances are pretty good. Mesa's slow to the plate. Go ahead and take second base.
In the air, Tomey at third, and this season of dreams has become a reality. Cleveland, you will have an October to remember. Divisional play began. This is the earliest that any ball club has clinched, and the Indians tonight have won their 86th game.
Taking a page out of the Bill Parcells era with the Giants. The Gatorade on top of the head of Hargrove. It's been a lot of fun in this city, and the most fun is still yet to come.
Orel Hershiser clinched the National League Championship Series for the Dodgers in '88, won the World Series game that wrapped it up in '88, and tonight he clinches the Indian Central Division title with a win, and Jose Mesa with his 40th save. The Tribe has won it 3-2, the 1995 American League Central Division champs. Tonight's Chevrolet player of the game is Cleveland Indians manager Mike Hargrove. In conjunction with this program, Chevrolet will contribute a total of $50,000 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America in the names of all players of the game for the 1995 Major League Baseball season. How about these Indians?
Well, really, if you look at today's game, going into our open, we talked about 62-4. And their bullpen didn't let them down again tonight. Hargrove had the options, went to him, and Mesa closed it out.